All right, gentlemen, we are live. It is session 10 of Adventures in Emathan. And we will start off, as we always do, with a little recap of our session 9, which unfortunately we weren't able to stream or record. But yeah, I'm over the shame. So we'll get rolling. Okay, so as the last session began, the party stood outside of the Whitfield home. After several failed attempts to get Milena Whitfield to open the door, the party noticed that smoke was beginning to come out of the rafters. The house was on fire. Nightingale heard a second voice inside of the house speak to Milena, then all went quiet. As the party tried to determine if Milena was escaping the house, they were attacked by 5 dooms. The party did very well at holding their own against the attackers, but were still relieved to see 4 vanguard knights come galloping up the road towards the house. The remaining dooms tried to run, but were quickly captured by the knights. A search of the area showed no sign of Milena or the other person that was in the house with her. The knights relayed that they had spoken to Alanon and Brash at Tianchar Winery and were dispatched to check on the party. During this conversation, the knights revealed that they were in the process of setting up camp at the winery. With things under control at the Whitfields, the party rode back to Tianchar Winery with 2 of the knights, while the other 2 watched over the area. Upon arrival, the party met with Barlor Norwood, the captain of the guard assigned to Tianchar Winery. Barlor explained that the Vanguard High Command had decided to give protection to the winery until they could better understand the threat that the Dooms and the Gith presented and what needed to be done to control the situation. Douglan carried on to see Anton while Nightingale wandered off to spend some time by himself. Douglan spoke with Anton about what had happened over the past weeks, looking for assurance from him that there would be no more lies. Anton promised that there would be only truth going forward and that he had never wanted to lie. Douglan informed Anton that Nightingale and he would begin their travels into the wilds to acquire the sickle of the harvest moon the next morning. Anton asked to meet with them in the morning before they left to discuss their travel plans. As Douglan prepared to leave, Thungus Stonebrow asked to speak with Douglan. He told him that earlier in the day, 2 of his men were at the Broken Flagon and had overheard 2 half-orcs asking about Douglan, Corvus, Nightingale, Corey, and Bashir. Thungus's men believed that the 2 were bounty hunters. Douglan spoke to Nightingale about the news. They decided that it reinforced their need to depart for the wilds and retired for the night. In the morning, Anton relayed to the party that they had received a message early in the morning. The message was from Alanon and Brash, stating that they had decided to carry on to the kingdom of Alagon to see if they could find more of the men who had attacked Brash's village. Anton asked the party to accompany him to one of the wine cellars. There, he brought them into a secret room where he suggested that they travel to Vargas by boat, and once there, secure passage on an airship to Coldhorn deep in the wilds. He gave Douglan an adamantine breastplate that Douglan's wife had made for him, and he gave Nightingale a rod of healing to help ensure that the 2 came back from the wilds alive. The party then departed for the city of Evandor to finish up some business before securing passage by boat to Vargas. In the city of Evandor, the party first visited Rainier Alduin at the Vanguard Keep. The party updated Rainier on what had happened at the Whitfields, most of which he had already been informed of. Rainier told the party that Duran and the other Doom had been transported to the Vanguard High Command in the city of Allegon. He did not know what would happen to them after that. Nightingale asked if Rainier had a way that the party could keep in touch with him during their travels into the wilds. Rainier informed the party that they would speak with the Vanguard anywhere, and the message would be relayed to him. He promised that if the party returned in the morning, he would provide them with a token that would ensure that the Vanguard would always assist them. Nightingale inquired if the Vanguard knew anything further about the concerns with King and Queen Evandor. He did not, but was interested to learn more to see if they could help. The party agreed to speak with Lord Felmorn Riovar to see if they could find out more and relay it back to Rainier. Next, the party traveled to the Watchtower Theatre to speak with Starling and Wren. Starling updated Nightingale on their conversation with the Penumbra College. The Penumbra College informed Starling that they would be sending 2 sparrows to evaluate the threat at Tianchar Winery, and that Nightingale should pursue finding the sickle that Anton needed. While there, Nightingale and Douglan donned disguises to help avoid the bounty hunters that Thungus had warned them about. Starling and Wren promised to send decoys to the Broken Flagon to help draw the bounty hunters off the trail. At Nightingale's request, Starling sent a message to Lord Felmorn to request a meeting. It was agreed that he would meet them after dark at the Fortune and Luck House of Smoke. The party then departed the Watchtower Theatre and headed to the Eastern Docks. There they secured passage to Vargas on the Raven Song, which departed at first light the next morning. After a long supper on the docks, the party headed out to meet with Lord Felmorn. At the Fortune and Luck House of Smoke, the party met Elok Brushbelly, the proprietor of the business who made the two very much at home with fine tobacco and expensive brandy. As promised, Lord Felmorn was waiting for them. He told the party that he was struggling to understand what was happening at the castle. Things were very tense since the assassination attempt, an attempt that he still knew very little about. He did not want Douglan or the Vanguard to get involved at this point. He just wanted them to know what he was working on in case anything should happen to him. After a few hours of discussion and laughs about the old days, Douglan and Nightingale departed to find accommodations for the night. As today's session begins, it is the 32nd day of the 3rd Trigon of Gath's influence at approximately 10 p.m. Douglan and Nightingale are standing on the street just outside of the Luck and Fortune House of Smoke. Elok has suggested that the party would find good accommodations at the Tall Tale Inn, just a short walk to the west. He said to make sure to tell them that he sent you.
Well, Jaspers, should we head to the Tall Tale Inn then, my friend?
I think that's a good idea.
I think you're getting a grip on things.
Is my
We
makeup
will
looking good?
make our way down to the Tall Tale Inn, Colin.
All right. As promised, with the mention of Mr. Brushbelly's name, you are looked after. A gold piece each, please. Finds you a very nice, cozy room for the night. And you awake just before sunup as the city of Evandor is awaking.
Do believe we need to be at the docks at the Raven's Song by sunlight. So we will quickly gather and pack our things, and I think it's best we head to the Vanguard, pick up that token, and then make our hasty entrance at the Raven's Song.
Nightingale, you're a little bit more experienced when it comes to this subterfuge. Should we stay in costume here? It's starting to itch.
As long as we're in Evermore, we're Brathis and Jaspers, my good man.
Okay, then. And as he's apt to do, he just grits and keeps going. He's
Come
like,
on, every boy's wanted to be in the theater.
oh, good.
All right. The two of you make your way back to the Vanguard Keep and speak with the night guards who are just finishing up. The one guard, you don't recognize either one of these two gentlemen, and he kind of looks the two of you over and says, Commander Rainier is not really accustomed to speaking to strangers so early in the morning.
My good man, we've had special instructions from Rainier to visit him quickly to receive a token of the Vanguard. I wouldn't want to be the man who interrupts that kind of an association or meeting.
Who should I say then is looking for him?
Douglan leans in because he's just not used to this. Just tell him Douglan's here.
Douglan McCain.
Very well, I'll be right back. The guard disappears inside while the second guard kind of eyes you two plump gentlemen up, and
Raphis will be patting his sweat.
The guard comes back out and says, Commander Rainier will see Douglan. I guess you can accompany him then?
There was never a doubt, my good man.
Well, there was quite a doubt, actually.
Waddle past him.
You, to get to Rainier's office, you sort of know the path now. It's a fairly quick walk into his office, and Rainier is not even in his armor yet this morning. He's sitting behind his desk, and as the two of you come in, he's having a bit of tea this morning, and he kind of stands up and says, I was told that Douglan wanted to meet with me.
It's me, Rainier. Don't worry. We've just
He has quite a surprised look on his face. Might I ask what's with the disguise?
Well, it seems we've gathered some attention from folks that maybe mean us ill. So we're trying to head out of town without being seen. Forgive the makeup here. I'm not used to this, but yeah, we had some business, so we figured we'd come like this.
Well, I must say, Douglan and I would not have known it was you, so quite effective. Please have a seat.
I could just picture Douglan. He's got makeup and a wig.
Big
He's
rosy
like
cheeks.
Mrs. Doubtfire. He just plops down. Oh, hello. Try to take
Gentlemen, did you meet with Lord Felmorn? Any news there?
There is, and I forgot what it was. I'm sorry. Oh God, I took notes too. Where are we? Felmorn. Where the hell is he?
Nightingale will whisper over to Douglan.
I believe what you're looking for is Lord Felmorn would wish to remain incognito while he figures out what's going on. He doesn't want an intrusion on the Vanguard.
There you go. What he said.
What he said. Well, I do definitely understand Lord Felmorn's concern. If things at the castle are in the state they are. We will continue to monitor the situation, and if we do feel it needs our interjection, we will do so. But we will respect Lord Felmorn's request to keep our distance unless we're called upon.
I believe that's a wise course of action, Rainier.
Do I know you, sir?
Indeed you do. It's Nightingale.
Oh, my goodness. I would not have guessed.
Well, as long as I tag around this fellow, I seem to gather a bit of attention, so a disguise was necessary.
Well, gentlemen, as promised, I have acquired amulets that I will give each of you anytime that you do require assistance from the Vanguard. Simply show this amulet and they will understand that you are friends of the Vanguard and give you the necessary assistance. They will also be able to relay any required messages back to me in a timely fashion that will allow you to keep me posted of your travels in the wilds. There are Vanguard all throughout the wilds. You will definitely find them from time to time.
A question for you. Do these amulets, do they act as a communication, or do we have to show those to the Vanguard?
They're more symbolic to the Vanguard that you are friends of the Vanguard.
Got it.
Right, and I will... I think I can drag and drop this into your character, see if it works. Did you get an amulet of the Vanguard there, Nightingale?
It showed up on my screen. I will just make sure it's in my gear.
I may have to open your inventory and drop
That's okay. I have it now. I can just drop it in. Yeah, I'll just drop it in.
And Douglan, I'll just drop it right into your inventory. It should.
Oop, there it is. Thank you very much.
Right.
Put it around his neck and tuck it into his below his jowls.
He's got 3 amulets rocking right now. He's not passing any stealth checks.
He's got his Mr. T starter kit.
I was going to say, I've heard rumors of a man with many gold chains before. B.A. Baracus, I believe his name was.
A legendary fighter.
He was a legendary paladin.
He was legendary, of course, yes.
Yes. He was, yes.
Well, Rainier, you must excuse us. We do have a ship to catch this morning.
I understand. I wish you happy travels, and please do keep in touch. I will relay what I know in terms of what is happening at Tea and Char Wineries. I will relay any information I have on the situation at the castle, and anything else that I feel will be of value to you while you spend your time in the wilds.
Appreciate it.
Bid you adieu.
All right, so you depart, head back out onto the streets from the Vanguard Keep. You know, you can walk down to the eastern docks fairly quickly. Oh, I guess.
I don't walk, I carriage, my man.
Yes.
You try walking with all your gear strapped to your front.
And these shoes.
You acquire a carriage.
It's got a 3-inch heel on.
We'll say for a couple of copper, whoever would like to pay the price.
I'll give 5 copper for a good old carriage. How's that?
There you go. And you make your ways down to the docks.
Jaspers, my good man, will you deal with that unruly dock person? Get us on our boat, will you?
I'll take care of it.
Haven't the patience to deal with that asshole.
I'll take care of it.
All right, the carriage pulls up down towards where the passenger ships arrive. The two of you disembark Raven Song is there where the gentleman that you'd spoke to the afternoon before had promised it would be. You see, there is a dwarven gentleman that has pulled up in a carriage ahead of you, and they are assisting him with a large trunk onto the ship. There is a carriage waiting behind you as well. And so the two of you disembark your carriage. Obviously, you don't have much, I don't believe, for luggage, since carrying a little bit of stuff, but not a lot.
And it's all sort of molded into our costume right now.
Right. Okay, so our two new characters. So first of all, Lafferty, you have arrived on the scene. You've spoken to the young gentleman that is allowing the passengers to make their way onto the ship. He assures you that your passage onto the ship, onto the Raven Song, has already been arranged, and you are able to board at your leisure. Landis, as you were instructed, you have arrived on the eastern docks at sunup. In speaking to the gentleman at the Raven Song, he tells you that your passage has already been taken care of. You can board the ship at your leisure.
I was about to say something. I'm like, I don't know what he sounds like.
It'll come. It'll come.
And the dog's okay, right? They're okay with him having.
They've got no problem with the dog boarding.
Perfect. Landis will be kind of, looking around, eyeing up all the passengers as inconspicuously as one can while they eye people up and down.
You don't see the two figures that appeared in the book anywhere. You just saw a very well-dressed and cleanly cut dwarf, which is an unusual thing, aboard the ship ahead of you. There is another gentleman that is preparing to board, and two that are disembarking a carriage, and there is a third carriage sort of waiting to pull up.
Landis will make his way to his room to store his things.
All right. The ship is it's a fair size. The crew shows you there is a you go in through the aft cabin into sort of a foyer area. There's staircases on either side that go down to the midship where the rooms are. You're taken down there by one of the crew who shows you to the room you've been assigned.
Thank you.
All right, Nightingale and Douglan, you arrive at the gentleman who is seeing people onto the ship, and a good day, gentlemen, and who might you be?
Brathus Belfour and my good man Jasper's Penniless. Here.
Yes. We do have rooms ready for you. If you just travel along, one of the crew will see you to your room. Do you have any questions? We will be departing as soon as everyone is secure on the ship. So I do believe within the hour.
I have a question for you, my good man. I ordered a bottle of fine wine to be delivered to your captain. Do you know if he has received my gift?
He has indeed.
Excellent.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
How many passengers does this boat hold?
Well, the Raven Song is mostly a cargo ship. She carries specialty cargoes for our clients along the coast. But we do have 6 cabins on board that we do bring people to our various stops.
Thank you. Am I doing it right, Nightingale?
Shut up. Shut up. Get on board.
As your carriage pulls away, that final carriage pulls up as you guys are talking to the person at the end of the pier here. The door opens and a extremely attractive young tiefling lady steps down, assisted by the carriage men, and she begins walking over to the same person you spoke to, and the carriage folk are carrying these 2 big trunks, following along behind her. And she gets up to where you all are, and well, good morning, gentlemen.
My lady, good morning to you. I am Brathus Belfour, and this is my good man Jaspers.
And I'll reach for her hand to give a kiss.
She offers it up very nicely, and so you will be
awkward shake.
Jaspers, don't touch the lady.
An awkward shake back. Will you be joining us on this trip?
Indeed, my madam.
Oh, I do look forward to getting to know you, but I am going to get myself on board now, gentlemen, so I can freshen up before we leave.
I look forward to meeting you on board, madam. Jaspers, let's get indoor. The sun's not good for my skin.
Pat himself a bit more. Waddle his way up the catwalk.
All right, you make your way up to the ship. You board, and as promised, one of the crew shows you all down to the mid deck where the rooms are. So on the mid deck area where the crew cabins are, you have the 6 cabins are kind of doors are across from each other in 3 on either side of a hallway. That hallway, if you go towards the bow of the ship, is where the hallway where the rooms are. Towards the aft of the ship, on one side, there is sort of a large common room that you can spend time in, where there are tables and chairs and books and things like that, where you can spend some time. You're informed by the crew that you will eat with the captain, and that is in the aft cabin. So you enter, as I said, you enter off the ship into a foyer into the aft cabin, and then there's a door right there that goes into the captain's dining room, and you'll be eating with the captain.
What's the name of the ship again, Colin? Sorry.
Raven Song.
I'm sorry, what was the tiefling lady's name?
She hasn't told you yet.
And
Damn it. You didn't ask.
Jaspers, I blame you, you idiot.
You're supposed to be the expert at this stuff. I'm just trying to hold this all together. He's like sweating underneath, just
the makeup's running a little bit.
Yeah, it's like what's his name? Peter Sellers in Pink Panther. his nose starts anyway. I'll stay on course. Stay on course.
All right. So everybody's sort of settled in. So on board the ship, just as a reminder, you saw a dwarf, a very fancy dressed, clean cut. You know, like the dwarf had a very clean cut beard and clean cut hair. And the tiefling lady, and then the four of you make up the 6 cabins that are on board.
So we on board?
You are all on board. The crew has pulled up the gangplank. They are doing their things. You know, there's some rowboats that are hooking up out front. They kind of row and pull the ships away from the docks, and before they fly their sails. And yeah, everybody's just going about the thing. You're still maybe 30, 40 feet from the dock, just slowly floating out of the eastern docks.
Well, Nightingale is in his room. He's gonna, unbutton his robes, empty his shoulder bag of all of its gear, and stuff a pillow in there, because damn, it's hard to carry all that stuff.
The rooms essentially have a large armoire, a lockable chest, and then the beds on board the Raven Song are these large hammocks that you sleep in. On the ocean, the hammocks help dampen the movement of the ship, so it's a little easier to sleep.
I'll empty my bag into that lockable chest then and lock it. Put the key in a pouch.
Douglan and Nightingale had separate rooms, right?
Yes.
Everyone is in a separate room, yes.
So Lafferty was on before, so he observed everybody that came on board. He is going to go to the door of the tall one with the lantern thing and knock on the door.
You have to answer it.
It's all you.
Yes. Yes. Can I come in? Do you have a moment? This is gonna be weird. Maybe I should go on Nightingale's. Yes, I'm gonna go on Nightingale's because I need some feedback here. I'm gonna knock on Nightingale's door. God damn it, that was too hard.
Now, you know how I feel sometimes carrying on lengthy conversations with myself.
Yeah.
Who is it?
The name's Lafferty. Do you mind if I come in?
I do indeed, man. Give me a moment. I'll come to the door.
Of course.
Nightingales will draw a dagger, put his one hand behind his back and his other hand on his belly, and he'll walk to his door, and he'll open it a bit and look out.
Who are you?
The name's Lafferty Jones. Are you the one they call Douglan?
Am I the one? My good man, I'm Brathis Belfour.
Or perhaps you're the one called Nightingale? Perhaps?
I wouldn't know who that is, my good man. I think you have me mistaken for someone else.
Well, listen, it's got to be one of you two because you're the only two that are traveling. And I calculated the fact that the only two traveling were going to be the two that I'm supposed to meet here. You see, I was hired by Anton. I'm here to help, and it can't be the tiefling because that's a tiefling, right? And Douglan's not a dwarf, so it can't be a dwarf. So it's got to be one of you two. And I figured I had a 50% chance knocking on your door or the other gentleman's door. So are you Nightingale?
Step inside, Lafferty.
Oh, thank you.
When he comes inside, Nightingale will close the door and then draw the dagger to his throat and be like, "What are you doing here?"
Oh, it's okay, Mr. Nightingale. It's okay. I've been hired by Anton. I know you guys have a very important mission, and I'm here to help. I can do a lot of things. I can help. can you put the dagger down, please?
I'll put this dagger down, my good man, once I'm fully convinced that you're not something more sinister.
Do I know which side Douglan is on from my cabin?
Douglan's cabin is directly across from Nightingale.
Ah, crap. Sit on my bed and sit on your hands.
I go do that. By the way, let me backtrack. You see a half elf, an elf, a little bit hunched over, small even for an elf, right? He's got brown hair that is just totally disheveled. He has brown hair, brown eyes. He has a bit of a scar that comes from his ear, goes all the way down. Not the most attractive elf. He has very kind eyes, though. Very kind eyes. He has all sorts, like imagine a bolero with all the bullet things, but they're all vials, like crisscross vials everywhere. He's got pockets on his things that are bulging with all sorts of contraptions and whatnot. You also see a tattoo that just breaches over the collar line and goes down. If you look at it, it swirls slowly and it changes slowly into different types of animals. It's a very dark ink. It has a little bit of a sinister feel to it, but things are okay. He's got, you also see like a really weird contraption on his arm. It's sort of like, it looks like a mini catapult, for lack of a better term. And I know you just saw him, but Nightingale's quick to take a look at him and see all of this. So there you go. Lafferty Jones at your service. But I'll sit on my hands.
Yes. Sit
But
on
I'll
those.
sit on my hands.
Sit on those hands.
Yes.
Belfast will open his door without turning away from Lafferty. He kind of backs into the hallway and gives a heel kick on Douglan's door.
Yes. Yes.
Get out here, Jaspers. I need your assistance in my cabin immediately.
Okay. He opens the door and like half his stuff is off, but he kind of like puts the wig back on. What the hell's going on? What's the problem?
Get in here.
I go in.
And I'll shut the door and I'll be like,
Douglan, this one says he's from Anton. Can you question him to see if he's really a friend of Anton?
What are you saying? Yes, Mr. Douglan. I was hired by Anton. He says you have a very, very important mission and I'm to protect you. I can do many things. I can heal you. I can do all sorts of things, but can you put that dagger down, sir, please? I am no threat. I am here to help. Anton sent me. He said what was it? He said, oh, I forgot. He said that Jackie looks down on you.
Douglan?
So Douglan just kind of like takes a moment and he just sort of says, that would be something that Anton would do. The name is Douglan, and I shake his hand. Nice to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you.
Nightingale will flip his dagger between his fingers, looking at Lafferty, and then sheath it. Be like, Nightingale.
Nice to meet you. Very, very impressive. Very, very, very impressive with the dagger, sir. And as I said, it was 50% chance. It could have been you. It could have been Mr. Douglan, but I knew it was one of you two. I see that stuff. I calculated it all coming in, and I was sure it was one of you two. So I'm glad we finally met. Where are we going?
Lafferty, I have a few things to say to you. While we're aboard this ship, you will refer to me as Belfast, and you will refer to Douglan as Jaspers.
Okay, yeah.
We are in disguise, clearly, my good man.
Yes, I should have seen that. I am so sorry. Oh, darn, stupid.
Oh, no need to apologize.
Yes, okay. So, Brafus and Jasper. Okay, I got it. Yes, where are we going?
We are headed off to Vargas.
Ah, Vargas. Okay. All right. Okay.
Once we arrive at Vargas, we are to arrange transport on an airship. And our destination will be revealed to you once we are aboard that airship.
Okay. Mr. Anton just told me a couple of things. Something about a sickle, right? We can't talk about that, right? That we got to bring it back, I think. Something like that. Anyway, you guys lead. I'll be here to help. Jasper and Braffus. Got it. Okay.
Yes.
So, as you are having your conversation, you hear on the door.
One moment, please. Jaspers, will you get the door for me, my good man?
I will indeed. And I wink at Nightingale.
Oh, dear Lord.
I didn't say it, though. Can I help you? I'll open it a crack.
You see the dwarf that had boarded the ship along with you, and
Well, good day, gentlemen. The name's Durham. Durham Moultonmaid.
Daryl?
Durham. Durham,
Durham.
boy. I have a pretty fine bottle of dwarven brandy here that I'd like to share with all of us that are enjoying this voyage. I'll be down in the common room in a few minutes, and I'd just like to invite the three of you to come down and have a drink with me. How does that sound?
Did you say brandy?
Jerem, we would love to come join you, my good man. We appreciate such a generous offer.
We will be there.
Excellent. We'll see you shortly then.
Indeed. Jaspers, close the door while I powder up. Dear God, Douglan, we're the most popular people on this ship. This is freaking me out.
Colin, if I may, can I roll my experimental elixir? I get one a day, and I figure I want to
He's
do it
sitting
now.
on the bed, like starts mixing potions.
Well-
Dear God, don't get it on my sheets.
Yeah, no, you're gonna see that actually. When he's like any idle time, all of a sudden he just sort of like has a vial in his hand. He starts spinning it, grabs a little pouch. Like you're gonna have to get his attention to look up. Like he was already zoning out, looking at his potion and mixing it up. Huh? What?
That's awesome.
What are we doing? What? The what? So let me. So basically, what it is, I roll a 1d6 every day, and then that's what I get.
okay.
Experimental table. What does he get? A healing potion. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, this is good. This is good. Yes, this is very good. And he just tucks it away in one of his slots there. Actually, you know what? You guys can have one. Here, this is what I do. Look, I'll hand it to Nightingale. It's perfectly safe. It'll make you feel better if you're under the weather or have a sword in your belly.
I feel perfectly fine.
Well, keep it for later. It's okay. It's all yours.
Okay. Dear Lord, he's mixing up things in my bed sheets.
And
Well,
by the way,
Lafferty.
there's a subtle scent of sulfur around him.
Did you fart on my bed?
Not heavy, just sort of like, okay, maybe, yeah. His hands have burn marks, like it just, but they're super fine. But yeah,
Lafferty, my good man, I have to ask you a favor.
of course.
Braffus arrived with his good man Jaspers.
Yes,
He did not arrive with Jaspers and Lafferty.
understood. Yes, understood.
So let us build a relationship in public that will equate to your relationship to us currently. Do you understand what I'm saying?
He thinks, does 1,000 calculations. So yeah, that's very good. Yes, because I should know you, right? You guys are in disguise. So
Exactly.
that makes it 100%. Yes. Why don't I go to my room and then we can all meet with the
Do
dwarf.
that.
What was his name? What was his name?
Darum.
Darum. Okay. Yes. Nightingale. Very. Oh, sorry. My bad. That would be no,
That
Braffus.
would be dangerous to your health.
Yes, Braffus. Of course. Let me go to my
Indeed.
room and we'll pretend that I never met you before.
Indeed.
Okay.
Thank you, Lafferty.
All right. I'll be on my way. And he
Yes.
clink, glass bottles and this and that. And he goes to his room.
So as you are, finishing up you can feel the motion of the ship now tells you that you have set sail.
Oh, this is going to be a lovely voyage. Keep it together. Focus.
Excellent. He loves sailing.
Okay. In the meantime, while all this is going on, Landis will stow mud in his gear
Okay.
and kind of just go on deck to casually watch about and see what the goings on is.
Okay. As Landis arrives up on the deck, the crew is going about their business of sailing the ship, trimming the sails and lashing down the few last items as the ship starts to come up to speed. It looks like you've got a good wind. The ship seems full sail, and headed out to sea.
He'll kind of just be more observant as he's kind of looking for individuals right now. He's
All right.
Anywhere he can explore, he will explore.
As you're sort of milling about the deck, you see the dwarf who had boarded first, as you were sort of Landis was watching who was coming and boarding the ship. He comes over to Landis and
Good morning there, lad.
Greetings.
I've invited everybody down for just a little nip of brandy, so we've all had a chance to meet each other. We're going to be on the ship for a couple of days, and I thought it would just be a good way for all of us to get to know each other.
Your hospitality is exceptional, my good man. I am Landis.
he reaches out his hand.
My name is Darum Moltenmane.
Molten Mane. My good man, I've never heard that name before.
Most of my family are from the eastern mountains in the wilds.
Well, Mr. Molten Mane, I will graciously join you for a drink. I look forward to your brandy.
Then we'll see you downstairs shortly.
Indeed. My apologies, I'm catching a bit of wind.
Landis is seasick too, is he?
Nope.
So, Darum heads off, back into the aft cabin foyer, closing the door, and he's gone, and Landis is left on the deck.
Landis is not a fan of confined spaces. Being in a tiny room on a tiny vessel is not his idea of a perfect vacation. Well, once the dwarf disappears downstairs, Landis will kind of just, take a few moments to give him a bit of a head start before he heads down to join him.
All right. Is the remainder of the party headed to the common room?
Yeah, once Nightingale has his stuff stowed in a pillow, which is a little more, I was sweating my makeup off. That was a terrible idea. He'll join him with Jaffrey's.
You gonna touch
Or
up?
Jespers.
You gonna touch
yeah.
up that Jesper?
Jespers will definitely get a makeup touch up. Stop touching your face so much.
Oh, it itches like the devil.
I know.
So you make your way over to the common room. You find Darum is there already having a drink with the fine tiefling lady. They are chatting. I don't know if anyone speaks Dwarven, but the tiefling lady is speaking to Darum in Dwarvish.
Nope.
Lafferty can overhear and just kind of nods at the conversation like he's able to follow it.
It's just general small talk, just talking about the city of Evandor, and the lady said she was able to do some nice shopping and that sort of thing. And then when you come in, they both switch to common. Well, gentlemen, I'm glad that you agreed to come and have a drink with Mr. Darum and myself. I do apologize. I forgot to introduce myself. I was a little tired from such an early start this morning. My name is Diza.
Isa, my lady, the apology is mine for not asking your name. Your arrival, I was overtaken by your beauty.
Oh, you'll make me blush, sir.
That is the intent, my good lady. Now, I've heard about this dwarven brandy. It seems to have drawn us all together, I can see.
Darum already has a glass on a little tray. He's handing out glasses to Jesper and to Brathas.
Brathas!
I'm struggling more with Brathas's name than Douglan is. Brathas and Lafferty. He hands
Lafferty,
everybody.
Yeah, Lafferty gets the drink and thank you, and he begins to basically analyze it, like he's just looking at it and like just way too much.
All right, Darum. He kind of looks around.
I was hoping the other one would join us. I'm sure he'll be here soon. So, to everyone, I would just like to say, happy voyage. I'm told we'll be dining with the captain tonight. He is a good friend of mine, Mr. Captain Gray. He's referred to. Brenton Tattersail is his name, but we all call him Captain Gray because he's showing a bit of his age these days, as many of us are, I guess. But anyway, to a fine voyage.
To a fine voyage, indeed.
Darum crushes the half glass of brandy, of dwarven brandy. The rest of you, it's a bit like drinking a combination of gasoline and scotch.
Raphis will be.
What was the captain's name?
His real name
Captain
is Brenton
Gray!
Brenton Tattersall, Sall, Tattersall. But everyone refers to him as Captain Gray.
It's Darum, right? Darum.
Darrom. Darum.
Darum, my good man, you should give a man a warning.
He smiles and says,
Well then, is that another you're asking for?
Indeed.
It doesn't seem to have an effect on Lafferty. He takes it and he's like kind of in his mouth. He's just like he's not enjoying it for the alcohol. He's analyzing it. Yeah, it's got a little bit of
Deeza tips her back pretty healthy pull off of it, and doesn't seem to affect her much either. She's obviously drank a drop or two of dwarven brandy in the past. It's an acquired taste.
Indeed. I apologize.
So Deeza looks to the group as she sort of swirls the remainder of her brandy in her glass and says, "Now, gentlemen, what would bring all of you to Vargas? It's not exactly a vacation destination, is it?"
Indeed, my lady, it's not. I was about to ask you the same question. Excuse me. Oh.
Well, I'm a businesswoman, and I do have some dealings with one of my contacts in town. I hope not to be there any longer than I have to, as I'm sure you know, Vargas is a little rough on the edges, shall we say? Darum laughs. Rough on the edges? The edges will slit your throat.
I must be 100% transparent. Jaspers and myself are on our way to Vargas to acquire transport on an airship to Coldhorn. I've got a bit of family matters to deal with. The passing of a relative. Mere formalities.
Darum, well, that's quite interesting. I have a bit of business that I have to take care in Coldhorn myself. I will admit that Vargas is my home, but my business takes me into the wilds, and I have need for some company while I make my way into Coldhorn. Maybe we can have a discussion before we arrive in Vargas and see if we can maybe come to some sort of mutual agreement.
Indeed, if our paths do seem to be headed in the same direction, a bit of a partnership might be advantageous to both.
Indeed. We will speak of this further, Mr. Braffus.
Now, my fine lady, you said you had business in Vargas. What would a fine woman like you be doing in Vargas?
Maybe I'll discuss it with you gentlemen later, but for now I think I'm going to excuse myself and take a little walk onto the deck to see what kind of a day we have ahead of us.
I must apologize. I may have pressed for information too strongly.
Oh, don't you worry, young man. I've been pressed harder.
I hit harder than that dwarven brandy. Did you hear that, Justice?
Douglan laughs.
Deeza excuses herself and heads up. She takes her dwarven brandy with her and heads up onto the deck. Has Landis
I was going to say, about this
arrived?
time would Landis would be coming in. Now, can Landis do an investigation check in regards to he knows roughly the people he's looking for?
Yep.
We have a dwarf and a tiefling. I'm hoping he can come up with the same conclusion as Lafferty did.
I feel like you should give me an investigation check. Landis is pretty sure he knows who Nightingale or who the two people
Who
in
could
the
possibly?
picture would likely be. Just based on the height and such, the general build, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You got a pretty good feeling that the other two are likely the ones you're looking for.
So he'll walk in, and once he makes eye contact with Darum, he'll nod and walk over to him.
Oh, my boy, here you go. Have a drink. A little toast, then, to our travels ahead.
Indeed, may the weather be in our favor.
Now, what we've just been talking a little bit with the lovely Deeza about our travels to Vargas. What brings you to Vargas?
Sheer curiosity, my good man. You see, I've never been to Vargas before, and figured, what the heck?
Well, it is a very interesting town, and my hometown, I might share with you. I've lived there for 10 or more years now. It's an interesting place to call home, indeed.
I've heard many a rumor, and it's my job to find out if they're true, if you know what I mean.
Well, Vargas is full of rumors, and some are true, and some are more true than you'd even believe.
Indeed. Landis will look over at Jaspers and Belfast and be, and what brings you two to this ship on its way to a land of mystery?
Well, my good man, if you had arrived on time, like the rest of us civilized folk had, you would have known that we're on our way to catch an airship. Yes, I don't know if you've ever been in an airship before.
Well, interesting. I have not. And you?
I'm with him. I travel. My name is Jasper. What is yours?
My friends call me Landis.
Nice to meet you, Landis. Try the brandy.
That's classic Douglan.
Go ahead, try it.
Yeah.
Landis will, have a sip of the brandy. I'm sure it's a strong one.
It is indeed a strong one.
Darum, my good man, I've spent many a year traveling the protected lands, and merely setting foot in the wilds is a bit of a dream of mine. A man of yourself, you must get around quite a bit.
I do most certainly. You see, I'm a gem merchant, and I have contacts all throughout the protected lands and the wilds, and I just try to make sure that they all get connected for, a little fee, of course. Man's got to make a living.
Indeed, one does in these parts. I can't say I have much of a trade myself. I come from a family with a bit of money and have enjoyed a bit of the good life traveling around. But, the world's a big place, a lot of places to explore.
Indeed, and I've seen many of them, but there are many more, and I look forward to seeing them myself.
Indeed.
Now, gentlemen, help yourself to the rest of the brandy if you'd like another pull. I am going to head up on the deck and make sure Miss Deeza doesn't need any company. And it kind of gives a little wink, and off he goes.
So, based on the conversation Landis has had so far, Braffus is a very standoffish asshole. So he'll press Jaspers, since she seems to be a bit stilted in his conversation. Plus, it's easier to have a conversation with someone else, right?
Yeah, I totally set you up, man. I was gonna have Lafferty come in and save it a little bit, but nah, you were doing great.
Landis will be, so Jaspers, where are you from?
I'm from Evandor. That's where I hearken from.
Evandor. How did you find yourself attached to that man?
Well, I guess he was nice to me and I just kept following him. Simple as that.
Indeed.
Yeah. That's basically it. Where are you from, Landis?
I tout from Torel.
Terrell. Is that in the protected lands?
Indeed it is. It's on the inland sea.
Interesting. And so you're just on the ship to travel and explore?
Spent the last 6 years of my life exploring this great land of ours. Stories I could tell you.
I would be very interested in stories.
Is Douglan is Jaspers almost done his drink?
Yeah, he's pretty solid, gets to it. Yeah.
Landis will grab the bottle, be like, Douglan, can I refill you? And he'll hold the bottle over his glass.
And Douglan's like, what are you doing? You called me Douglan.
This is Landis talking to you.
Oh, Landis said it. I'm sorry. I thought it was Nightingale.
Nope,
He kind of holds there.
Landis said it to you.
And he's like, Nightingale, what do I do?
Ravis will be like,
Care to explain why you're calling me that?
explain what? That's your name, is it not? And he'll begin to pour the glass.
It might be, it might not be. But I introduced myself as something different. You seem like a smart fella. So I'll ask you again, why are you calling me that?
Landis will look at the two heavily powdered, puffed, and creamed and battered individuals in front of him and be like,
Lafferty, by the way, quietly is pulling out a vial and kind of he stopped his fiddling and he looks over at Landis.
He goes, gentlemen, as hard as it might sound, I was looking for you.
Douglan holds his little Bo Peep staff a little tighter.
You carried that with you?
I was walking with it.
Oh. Now, as much as this might sound a bit confusing, as my voice clearly has gone back to Nightingale. Crap!
Nightingale. What? Wait, what? Are you throwing your voice, Nightingale? It'll be better once we get the introductions out of the way.
This is a tough part. Gentlemen, our paths have come into alignment. And I am here because I've been sent to find you and aid you, as it would seem we have similar interests.
Douglan's going to drop the accent. I think you need to tell me a little bit more than that.
I apologize. Yes, there's definitely more to tell. And this is neither the place nor the time. Perhaps we could meet in a place more private.
I think that would be wise. As you can tell, we've gone through quite a bit to remain anonymous here. Don't be throwing that name around like this chap here did just a minute ago.
I waited till the dwarf had left before I dropped the name.
All right.
And by the eyes that Lafferty has had on you, it would seem you know each other.
Truth be told, we just met him. Lafferty, this is Landis. Slowly puts it away. So it's okay then? We're okay?
Put it away. It doesn't seem dangerous.
Tucks it away. Goes back to kind of looking at the bottom of the glass and looking at the brandy. Yeah, that's fair. Interesting.
Landis will grab the bottle of brandy and be like, "Gentlemen, perhaps your quarters?" It would seem our other companions are entertaining themselves on deck. Now would be a good time.
Yes. You know, if I might recommend, why don't the two of us go first? And then you guys can follow a bit later. We look a little strange, all of us going straight back to the room from here.
That's a brilliant idea. Let me take Lafferty on deck. Jaspers, you can handle this one, I would believe.
I think so, Mr. Braffus.
Good. Lafferty, my good man, come tell me about your jingles and jangles, will you? You're an interesting fellow.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, listen, I have a wonderful, wonderful perfume that would really get up. He opens up a bottle and says, and it actually smells awesome. Like you roll to see how much you love it. He can literally make perfume. He can literally make perfume. I got it right here on my spreadsheet.
Excellent. Well, I don't mind if I do. I've been sweating profusely in all of this activity.
Yes.
You're like, yes. Yes, you have. So Landis will take Jasper's back to, I guess, Jasper's room.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Right this way, Landis. Let's talk.
Yes, I do believe we should. I apologize for my abrupt approach, but I didn't see the need to keep the ruse between us going much longer.
Truth be told, Landis, I can't take much more of this subterfuge. Everything itches right now. Damn it. Do you mind if I take this lot off while we talk? You seem to know who the hell I am, so it doesn't seem to matter.
I would appreciate seeing who you truly are.
Take the get up, not all, but, sort of de-makeup. So, you said you were sent to help us. Was this a type of vision? Were you hired?
I must show you something. Landis will draw from behind his back. He has like a little, so I will describe Landis for you, Douglan.
Nice.
Landis is somewhat handsome, some would say. He's short brown hair. He's got some beard, stubbly growth. Hazel eyes, sun-kissed cheeks, like he's been out in the sun for days on end. His clothes are very road-worn adventurer's clothes, kind of traveler's clothes. And he wears a large brim flat-top hat with a leather band around it that has a few little bits and bobs tucked into it. And on his back, kind of in his lower back, there's a satchel which he pulls a book out of. And he opens up to the page, and Colin, I would assume those 2 pages will open.
Just those 2 pages open so far in the book, yep.
And he'll turn the book to Douglan.
Landis, to your surprise, that third person that didn't completely show themselves the last time you looked in the book is Lafferty.
Now, Douglan McCain,
Indeed.
I search for secrets and answers. My grandfather has gone missing, and all I have left of him is this book, which I must tell you has been a world of mysteries in and of itself. Since the book has been in my keeping, the only pages that I've been able to access are the ones you're looking at now. And upon those pages are you and your friends.
So Douglan, where the book is opened, on the left-hand page, there is a portrait, and the easiest way to describe it is like in Harry Potter when they had pictures and they moved a little bit like a GIF.
Mm-hmm.
And the picture shows Douglan, Nightingale, Lafferty, and Landis standing together like they're all looking out at something with concern.
Yeah, that's the same reaction I had.
Yeah, he's just looking at this like, is it, they definitely look like they're together, right? It isn't just four different portraits. It's the
Nope,
four of them
it's like
together.
the four of them are standing together in some sort of open field area with some forest in the background, and they're all looking forward at something with concern.
When did this book show you this?
I retrieved my inheritance a few fortnights ago, or a few nights ago, I should say. And when I was taking my rest stay at a halfling camp just down from Windrest.
Oh yeah, I know the one.
Yes, good folk they are. The book showed me this picture. And I was enlightened to believe that whatever you are up to may lead me to my grandfather, or some clue leading me to him.
Well, first off, I'm sorry what happened to your grandfather. Do you have any idea what happened?
My grandfather went missing. That's all I know.
Is he someone that practices the arts like yourself?
My grandfather was a master at Windrest School. When I was a much younger man, well, at school, he went missing. Rumors spread about that he had left the school to join up with the Dooms, but they were mere rumors spread by jealous faculty members who didn't quite agree with my grandfather's teachings.
The Dooms, you say?
Yes. Mere rumors. My
Douglan,
grandfather
as
was
you sorry.
Go ahead.
Douglan, as you're handling the book, you notice on the right-hand side, there is a what looks like a handwritten note. It says, "Landis, the future of Emathan has become entwined in the lives of these four men. Yes, that includes you. Your part will be bigger than you could possibly understand right now. In time, I will help you to understand this tome and the words that I have just shared with you. For now, accept that you must find them. Be on the eastern docks in Evandor at sunup on the 32nd day of the 3rd Trigon of Gath's influence." And it's signed his grandfather.
I don't know quite what to say there, Landis. And you said that this just appeared after your visit to the halflings.
Once the book came into my possession, Douglan, I couldn't open a single page. And then, upon pondering and sitting wondering what to do next, it opened up to these pages. Magic is a strange thing, Douglan.
Very. I've had some changes myself the last few fortnight. Quite drastic, I might say. And it involves the dooms as much as it sounds like your grandfather's involved with.
Let me be clear. My grandfather has nothing to do with the dooms.
I should hope not.
I intend to prove his innocence.
Well, truth be told, Landis, we've got a lot of folk that mean us ill. So you travel with us, you better strap on your boots tight. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Master McCain, I'm willing to take whatever risk it is required to solve my mystery. Wherever this road takes me, I'm willing to go. If you'll have me join you.
I think where we're going, we're going to need all the help we can get. And who am I to stand between you and finding your grandfather? As Baraphis said, we're only in Vargas to secure an airship. Our goal is Coldhorn. And after that, it's to the wilds. We are looking for something that hopefully will keep the doom at bay. There's more to it, but let's leave it at this for now. You're welcome. We can use the help. I'm sure in time you'll tell me where your strengths are. Forgive me, I'm a military man. I need to know the assets that we have should trouble come our way. Not all folks are open to that, for what it's worth. Some fight it, but I found it best to know what we have. Nevertheless, welcome aboard. I'll shake his hand.
I hope my transparency has proven myself not to be as dangerous as some of the people you've come across.
I think time will tell, Landis. At the end of the day, we just met. I believe you for what it's worth, but
Well, then allow my actions to prove more than my words.
That'll be the right of it.
I believe to keep your ruse in full swing while we're aboard this ship, we should part ways quickly and meet on deck with the rest.
Indeed.
Again, I thank you, Mr. McCain, for allowing me to join you. As you see, I'm drawn by other purposes.
Yeah. Douglan, the fact that he saw Lafferty there was pretty much what convinced him, right? Like, unless you two are in cahoots, seeing that and the fact that you hadn't seen it until then. So yeah, he's going to go ahead and take the plunge and trust.
Trust is earned, and I hope to intend to earn that from you. Now, I will bid you adieu and meet you upon deck.
Is my wig straight?
It looks good. Mm-hmm. Landis will slide that book back into his little carry-in pocket back there and walk out of Douglan's room and kind of take the long way around. Meanwhile, Baraphis is up on deck being an ass.
All right, Baraphis, I would assume that Lafferty went with you, that he's not hanging out in the common room by himself.
Talking your ear off, by the way. Telling you all about the brandy that you just drank and the alcohol levels and
yes, indeed, yes,
everything.
Dear Lord,
So
do you
you
breathe?
make your way onto the deck. The ship is full sail and making fantastic time towards Vargas. You see that Darum and Diza are up at the front of the ship, just sort of watching where you're sailing. You get a better look at the ship. She's armed pretty good. Um, there's large weaponry in the front and the back, and along the sides. You know, they could they could hold their own if necessary, which is common to the ships in the area that sail these waters.
So
And
not the safest waters, basically.
not the safest waters, no. The crew is doing their thing. I mean, the ship is pretty much trimmed out now, so the crew is just sort of sitting around waiting to be hollered at by the helmsman.
Once Braffus is on deck, he'll look for Darum and Diza.
Yeah, they're up at the front of the ship. You see them as you come up because they're kind of up on top of the forward cabin. And
I'd like to come with you, Braffus, if that's okay. Garum mentioned something about gems. I have also affinity for gems too. Do you mind if I come along?
Yes, perhaps I can use a man like you assisting me to distract Darum while I talk to Diza.
all right, you make your way up on top of the aft cabin. You notice when you get up close to the aft cabin, you can smell some very delicious foods coming out of the forward cabin, not the aft cabin. You're guessing that the forward cabin is likely a kitchen. You make your way up on top, and Diza and Darum are there talking. Darum seems to have produced a flask that he is continuing to pour drinks for Diza and himself, and they're back to talking in Dwarven.
Lafferty, go ask that man about his gems, will you?
Absolutely, yes. And I speak dwarf, so I'm gonna go talk to him in dwarf. Okay, I'll be right back. Is there anything
While
you
you're doing
wanna
that, he's pushing you along.
know? Yeah. Yes, Mr. Darum. Can I call you Darum, Mr. Darum?
Absolutely, boy.
You said you're a gem merchant.
I am indeed.
I'm a bit of a fan myself, aficionado, if you will. Do you have any with you that I could look at? Or is it just in Vargas that you have them?
Might. You said you're interested in gems.
Well, you see, it's an integral part of my experimentation. Sometimes I need certain amount of gems, and he's just going to go on a long list of how he needs the gem to create an infusion that then transferred, and he just drones on. So the distraction is...
Yes, while you begin droning on about gems to Darum, Diza quietly extracts herself from the conversation and walks over to Braffus.
Braffus will be heroic pose into the wind. His mustache.
She as she's walking towards you, Braffus, you notice she's giving you a bit of a look up and down, and she comes up and close to you, and she says, "So, Mr. Braffus."
Miss Diza, how can I help you?
Now that we're alone, I have a bit of a confession to make.
What would that be, my beauty?
I am wondering why you are wearing this costume.
You mean my lovely dress clothes? I didn't know what to wear on a ship.
Let's not play silly. Who is the man under the makeup?
That would be Mr. Belfour. I don't know what you're getting at.
All right then, if you'd like to continue this ruse, I will allow it. But it makes me very curious why two individuals on this ship do not seem to want to be themselves.
Doesn't everyone hide behind a mask, lady of some sort?
Oh, it's true, and especially ones going to Vargas. Maybe you'll be prepared to tell me later.
Perhaps, if later comes about. What brings you to this ship? You said business. What business does a woman like you have in Vargas?
Well, I did promise I would talk about it. You see, I like to play cards, Mr. Braffus. And Vargas is a fantastic place for such activity.
Cards. You're a gambler.
Oh, gambler is such a dirty word.
Then what shall I call it, my good lady?
I trade wonderful card hands for coins.
You indeed probably do a lot of trading of coins. I was pretty certain I saw some pretty heavy trunks coming in with you.
Oh, indeed, but I wouldn't bring so much of my winnings on board. That would be silly. A girl must travel with her clothes, you know.
I see. And why would a girl like you think I'm not who I say I am?
Oh, Mr. Braffus, a girl in my line of work has to see through such things.
I see. Well, I hope not to disappoint once we get to know each other a bit more. But Braffus Belfour is Braffus Belfour.
Indeed it is, Mr. Bradford. Now, please excuse me. I'm going to have a little nap before we have our dinner.
Ah, I see that dwarven brandy is finally catching up with you, madam. I thought I was the only one that felt a kick in the balls.
Well, no. It's got quite a bite indeed, and Derham's is particularly potent.
Yes, I believe it took a year off my life. My word, I'm not used to that kind of punch.
She starts to walk away and just kind of coyly runs her hand along your arm and shoulder as she heads off downstairs.
Once her back's to me, Nightingale checks all his pouches and stuff.
Never trust when a woman touches you. Devilish creatures.
You seem to still have everything.
Perfect. Braffus will walk over to Derham.
Derham, my good man, you have a little flask, I see. Is that some more of your brandy, or is that a little more potent?
Oh no, this is a little more of the good stuff. Even better than we had before.
Oh, that was the good stuff I had before. I must apologize. Your folk can handle a lot more than I would seem.
Derham takes a big haul off the flask and hands it over to Braffus.
You'll have a little pull.
This one is a bit what you would imagine drinking fire tastes like.
Yeah, Lafferty was just about to say, "Oh, Mr. Braffis, you may you." Oh,
You
no.
just watch red
Yeah.
rise up in Braffis's
It,
face.
it won't last long. It's okay. Just breathe through your nose. It'll help. Here.
Dear God, it's like I was breastfeeding from a demon. What is that? Oh,
Goodness.
you have a jest at my expense. You, Darum, that was strong.
He closes up that one and puts it inside his jacket. He opens the other side, pulls out a different flask.
Here, lad, maybe this'll be more to your liking.
You mind if I look at it first, Braffis? Maybe.
No, please help yourself.
He just kind of swirls it around. No, this one should be a little more to your liking, I think. Of course, I don't know why he's trying to have you drink so much. You might want to be careful of that too. He's a merchant. Maybe he wants you to buy things. I don't know. Sorry, Darum. I don't mean to say anything out of turn here.
Oh, I think it's more customary than sinister.
I'll have another little tiny sip of this one.
This one actually tastes quite nice. It's a very friendly brandy, not a dwarven brandy in any way.
Braffis will put it down and screw the top back on.
Next, you'll tell me that's your aftershave.
It's indeed not aftershave.
Thank you, talkative one. Well, gentlemen, from the aromas coming from this cabin, I quite look forward to dinner with the captain.
Oh, yes, indeed, Captain Gray. He always puts on a good spread. He's got a couple of good men in the kitchen there.
You've traveled on this boat before then, Darum?
I always try and get passage on the Raven Song when I can. Captain Gray is a good man. He's got a good ship, good food. It's just a good thing.
Have the good captain ever run into any pirates?
Well, I would imagine that anyone who sails these seas runs into pirates from time. Vargas is well known to be a bit of a pirate cove.
Indeed.
Colin, can I have done an investigation check on the Disa? Because I even though he seems absent-minded, he does have a very good attention to detail. So while he
Absolutely.
was rambling,
What are you trying to determine about Disa?
well, when I see sort of Nightingale sort of come up a little short. He's a great poker player, but I saw a slight change in posture. I want to see if let's see, what would I be looking for? Maybe any type of, does she have like weaponry on her? I'm going to see if I can decipher, because I didn't see anything on her exposed, right?
Yeah, she's just wearing sort of, we'll say, a traveling dress, so it's
Okay.
not fancy in any way.
Okay.
Very tight to the body all around. So if
Okay.
she was, you can certainly attempt to see if you think she's carrying weaponry.
How about, can I see if I can recognize how she moves? If there is more to it than, like someone who knows how to fight, and not just a lady gambler type of thing. Is that something I can try? Or
Yep.
see if I see weapons? Either way, one of those two. Let's see what we got.
So, Lafferty, what you do notice is that Disa is very fit, which would seem unusual that she would be so strong and well built.
Mhm.
So you that gives you the feeling she could probably handle herself in a fight.
Mhm.
You can't see any weaponry on her, but you can tell from the outfit there's a couple of spots she could be hiding thing if she wanted to.
Okay. So when Nightingale comes up to start talking with Darum, Lafferty kind of pulls back a little bit. He kind of works something in his hand and just kind of whispers something. There's just sort of like a little disc in his hand, and then when they're done talking to Dam, he's going to hand that to Nightingale, but only after they're done.
Yep. Well, Darum excuses himself and says he's going to head off to freshen up before dinner, and it's just the two of you left on the deck.
So I hand this to you. Here. Just tap it. Just tap it. Whenever you're ready, we want to listen to it.
Okay.
And basically, what I say is, I say just that. It's a 6-second message, and it's his voice, and it basically just says, "She's a lot tougher than she looks. Be careful."
That's an interesting little thing you've got there.
You can tap it again. The message will replay.
Oh, I've heard your voice quite a bit already. That's okay. Thank you.
Well, these come in very handy, though. If you want to slip notes to people, it's I can make one for you anytime you want. Just let me know.
Well, thank you, Lafferty. But as of right now, I feel a conversation in the open is more appropriate than 6-second titbits.
Well, I just wanted to show you what we can do, and but the warning stands. She's definitely strong. She's
Indeed,
not just a bunker
she's
player.
got more to tell than she is.
I think so.
All of us keep our guard headed to Vargas. It's not known for outstanding citizens.
Indeed.
So
what time of day is it now?
Probably early morning.
It's still fairly, you maybe been at sea an hour or so. It's maybe, we'll say it's 10 o'clock or so.
In the morning. So we had brandy first thing in the morning.
Oh yeah. Darum drinks at all times
Dwarves.
of the day.
Goddamn dwarves.
My guts are on fire.
I have something for you if you'd like. It's just it'll settle your stomach. I hand him a little vial. Trust me, it'll work. It'll work.
Pass. I've drank enough things today that's given me a bit of a surprise.
Oh no, this'll settle everything. But okay, suit yourself.
Is Landis and Jeff or Jespers making it up on deck by now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Landis well before, and then Douglan.
Landis will join the group at the front. Gentlemen.
Brafus, Brafus, can I talk to you for a minute?
Indeed.
Yeah.
In private or in front of these gentlemen?
Private, probably for now, but I'll explain.
Do excuse me, gentlemen. My man Jaspers needs me. He's quite incapable of making a decision on his own.
Lafferty will just start talking to Landis, but Douglan's going to bring Nightingale up to speed, tell him what Landis showed him, and it seems we're not alone on our quest here. Everything seems to be following us or joining us.
Douglan.
Yes.
It was also seen that Diza is onto our ruse as well.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I thought I was better at disguise than I am, but Jesus.
You know what? It's not your fault. It's probably my fault. I can't wear this damn thing.
Keep it on until we're off this ship.
All right.
Sometimes the best way to prove a disguise is to just keep playing the damn thing till it's busted.
Yeah. keep saying it enough and it becomes the truth. That's what I heard.
That's a good one.
Learned that from Sergeant McGill.
So you're saying this Landis fella knew about us from a book?
Indeed, and here's the kicker. Lafferty was in there, but he said it wasn't in there until we just met. He's got a book that he can only open to one page. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. I tried to turn the pages, I couldn't do it. But he seems sincere. He didn't try to shank me. It's always a positive. But I just want to let you know that I think we have a few more to help us out here, but let's keep our eyes open. What's going on with the tiefling lass there? You two hitting it off?
Well,
See, kind of moving them to the side, like I'll pretend to be pointing off to something off the side of the boat.
well, she confronted me, Douglan, and asked me to remove the disguise and asked me why I was wearing it. I pretended I didn't know what she meant and proceeded to exclaim that everyone wore a disguise of some sort, but she pressed the matter a little bit before letting it go.
I thought we got on here unnoticed. Well, another thing to worry about.
Well, as you said, let's just keep with the ruse until it's pointless.
What do you make of that Lafferty kid? He's probably 200 years old, but he still looks like a kid to me.
Well, he's definitely a busybody. He's always fiddling or something, or making me drink this or wanting me to drink that. I'm a little worried with the fella, but he seems harmless.
All right. Well, seems a new week. We got a new partner. Perhaps these will stick around this time.
Well, it would seem that as we entangle ourselves with the mysteries of this world, people shall come and go.
Yeah.
But
Also,
just
that
keep yourself armed if you can, Douglan.
he holds up his lantern.
Walking lantern.
Yeah. Yep.
Good.
Yep.
If push comes to shove, I need your assistance for sure.
Indeed. I'll be there.
Good, now fetch me another napkin. I've soaked this one.
He goes and gets one. Yeah.
All right, shall we montage through a bit of the rest of the day now that I think we have our...
We're friends?
We're all friends here now.
I really hope these two stick around. I mean, we've had some bad luck with
All right, so, you spend a little time on the deck. You spend some time down below in the common room. Darum just sort of spends most of the day in the common room drinking. Diza does not make another appearance until later, close to dinner time. The crew at one point lets all of you know that dinner will be at 4 o'clock. As 4 o'clock approaches, none of you are sailors, but you feel like the ship's been at full sail most of the day, so you're probably making good time towards Vargas. And as it gets close to 4 o'clock, the crew comes down and lets everybody know that it is time to join the captain for dinner. And I think this would be a good spot to take a break before we get into meeting Captain Gray.
Yeah, I've got to work on the 17 accents I got to try to pull off here.
All right.
Well, you can always say I'm pretending to be another character at this time, so just go with it.
True.
All right, we'll be right back. We are back. Okay, so you've been called for dinner. So in the aft cabin, when you first go in, there is the foyer with the there's two staircases that go down onto the mid deck where your cabins are. There is a door from there that goes into a big dining area that is, and who you assume is likely Captain Gray is there talking with Darum, and Diza is seated already as the four of you enter and take a seat. And the captain comes over and meets each of you as you come in, and hello, gentlemen. The name's Captain Gray.
Captain Gray, it's Belfast Belfour. I do hope you received my bottle of wine.
I did, Mr. Belfour, and I thank you very much for it.
I thank you for getting us safely to Vargas.
Well, although that job is not yet done, I assure you we will arrive safely.
Gracious, thank you. My
And
good
you are,
man,
sir?
Jaspers.
Jaspers,
Nice to-
good to meet you.
Thank you, Captain. Thanks for having us on board.
Please have a seat. There's some wine already, and you two gentlemen are?
Lafferty Jones, sir. Captain,
Mr.
thank you.
Jones, please have a seat. Enjoy the wine. Dinner will be served shortly. And last but certainly not least, sir, your name is?
My apologies. It's Landis.
Landis. Good to meet you. Please, like the others, have a seat. Enjoy the wine.
Thank you,
Captain
sir.
makes his way over and sits. The table is very ornately carved around the outside edges. All the chairs are, like the table set. It's a big long table set. Sits 8, 3 on either side, 1 on the ends. The captain's chair is a big ornate chair, but all the entire table set is quite finely crafted. Captain takes a seat at the head of the table, and now everyone, as you know, we should be arriving in Vargas about supper time tomorrow. The weather looks good. We should make good time, so if the winds stay favorable, there is a very good chance we will arrive early. Hopefully no one has any pressing engagements when you arrive in Vargas, as we are always at the whims of the wind. I want to formally welcome you to on board the Raven Song. I have been owner and captain of this ship for quite some time now. Darum travels back and forth from Vargas quite often, but I am wondering what brings the rest of you to Vargas. I'm always interested to understand what brings people to such a colorful little corner of the protected lands.
Raphis will look over at Diza.
Ladies first.
Well, thank you, Mr. Belfour, but I've already been speaking with the captain before you arrived, and he understands that I dabble in the cards and the dice a little bit, and I'm going to Vargas to see what games are there for a lady to be involved in.
Indeed. Games indeed. Well,
Yes,
Captain Gray.
Games indeed, Mr. Belfour.
Well, Captain Gray, myself and my good man Jaspers here, we're merely seeking passage to Vargas on our way to... I hate to burden everyone with such bad news, but I've had a passing of a relative and we're off to Jaspers. Where is it again?
Cold Horn.
Coldhorn, yes, indeed. He's a late relative. I barely knew him, but I must pay my respects.
Traveling to Coldhorn, you say. Now, have you already arranged travel? I assume you will be going there by the sky?
Yes, I'm actually. It's one of the reasons I pay this cousin of respects is to try these airships out. It'll be my first time. Quite excited, you know.
Well, might I suggest that you make your arrangement with Windwalker Travels? They fly a sky ship, out of Vargas called the Dragonfly, and I won't kid you, I am very envious of the Dragonfly. She is a beauty.
Why, thank you, Captain. I will definitely seek Windwalkers out while I'm there.
You'll want to speak likely with Solana. She takes care of such arrangements and can almost always be found on the Dragonfly when she is in port.
Well, I appreciate your insight, my good man.
You're quite welcome. And Jaspers, you just travel with Mr. Belfour here?
Yeah, I just go where he goes.
Jaspers has been my manservant for many years now. He is a good man.
You see across the table from you, Diva is having to cover her face from a half, mostly smile, almost laugh, as she's watching the discussion between you two and the captain.
Hmm.
And then the captain turns to Lafferty, we'll say is next. And Mr. Jones, what brings you to Vargas?
Well, you see, I'm searching for a particular mineral that really helps in the creation of this. I'm working on a potion that it heals, but it also takes away some other things. Like, you know, if you have like blindness, it really helps with that. So I'm looking for a certain mineral, yeah, that can only be found in Vargas, and that's where I have to go. So I thank you for letting me on your ship and getting me there. I heard it's a very dangerous spot, but I'm going to do my best to keep my head low, and I got to find these things. Yeah, I'm looking for that stuff. If you want to hear about it, I can tell you all about it.
Maybe we'll have some time later. I would hope by now that you have been introduced to Darum. Darum deals in gems and minerals, and he would likely be able to put you in contact with people who could find you what you're looking for.
Indeed, yes. I talked to him at length, and he was very helpful. And yeah, we can't wait. I can't wait to get to. How long? How long is the trip, sir? How much longer?
If the winds stay favorable, we should arrive by dinner time tomorrow.
Well, this time of year, the wind should stay in our favor at least for another 3 days. That's at least according to the historical charts that I read before I came on board. But you probably know that better than I do.
Well, I do, but I thank you for mentioning it. And Landis, what is it that you are headed to Vargas to find?
Well, Captain Gray, I must apologize. My story is far more boring than the rest. I'm merely an adventurer. I have a bit of a gypsy heart, my mother would say, and never seem to put down roots. And I've never been to Vargas, and I've heard many a tale. So I head there now to see how many of these rumors are true and how many are lies.
Well, then, now, Vargas does attract an adventurer or two, or 3 or 10. if you are looking for adventure, my boy, you are definitely going to the right place. Has anyone other than Darum been to Vargas before?
No, this will be my first.
Jaspers and I have never been, no.
Well, you see, Vargas is a city of... How shall I put this in the most polite manner possible? It might be referred to as the dark underbelly of the protected lands. That, of course, no respectable person would ever find themselves in. But the truth is, it is a very industrious place for those that look to make coin for the right offerings. And my ship has made Vargas a stop for as long as I had sailed her, although not everyone is willing to make a stop in Vargas here on this coast. I only offer up one small warning to you. You all look very capable. Be suspicious of everyone.
Would that include you, Captain Gray?
If you follow my words, my boy, be suspicious of everyone.
Lafferty can't help but like stare directly at Disa and then like look down.
Now, before dinner is served, and he picks up his glass, I would like to offer up a toast. Shall I?
Dear Lord, I've been having terrible luck with these. Yes.
I would like to offer a toast up to wives and girlfriends. May they never meet. He takes a swig. Disa laughs out loud. And dinner is served. The meal, gentlemen, is beyond belief good. It is a multi-course meal where you start off with a very, very nice fish soup. It's a whole seafood motif. You have some very good seafood and then a fine dessert, lots of wine, some nice liqueurs after dinner. The conversation is generally light. Talking about Disa talks a little bit about some of the fine clothing merchants she visited while she was there, and Darum goes on about just an absolutely fantastic gem deal that he was able to close out with one of his merchants in the protected lands, and just general chit-chatty through the evening. And then as the sun is starting to set on the day, I mean, you're literally there eating for several hours, just chit-chatting and eating and drinking and such. Disa excuses herself and says she's off to bed, and Darum tips about his 18th dwarven brandy. The man should be absolutely polluted, but he doesn't seem any different than when you see. Either he's always drunk, or the man can really handle his booze.
You also notice Lafferty is able to keep up, and the alcohol has no effect on him. Just puts a little of this, a little of that, and keeps drinking.
Once Disa leaves, Braffus will excuse himself to head back to his quarters.
Okay.
Are you going to be okay by yourself, Braffus?
Jaspers, once you're finished your drink, come check on me. I may need some assistance.
Like last time where I had to... Never mind.
The So Captain Gray excuses himself, says he has some business to attend to before dark. He says, stay, drink, eat, spend the evening here as you wish.
Excellent.
So at the table is left Lafferty, Landis, Douglan,
Yes.
And Darum.
and
Daryl.
Daryl. Okay, got it.
Darum is still there as well.
Got it. Okay.
You guys will notice every now and then that Landis will take a fairly large cut of meat and put it in a pouch.
In what appears maybe to be the first somewhat intoxicated move from Darum, he reaches into his pouch, or sorry, into the pocket of his jacket. He pulls out a pouch, and he tosses it over to Lafferty, and he's,
Boy, take a look at those gems. Tell me what you think.
Opens it up. It's just like you see a bifocal thing just slots down. Oh, very, very good indeed. Oh, these are fantastic. What do I see?
the pouch contains a dozen very large diamonds. They are of an amazing clear cut. Lafferty figures there's probably 25,000 gold pieces worth of diamonds in the bag.
Deadpan, he goes, sir, this is just too generous. I couldn't possibly take this as a gift. And
It's
he
not
holds
a
back-
gift, boy.
He holds back a laugh, like a very awkward. Oh, I know.
Darum laughs as well, realizing the ruse.
No, sir. These are regular. I mean, I'm not quite here yet. Do you maybe at your shop in Vargas have something, maybe a little less fancy, if you will? These are fantastic, though, sir. And he, stares at him, slowly puts them back, and hands them back over.
Now, gentlemen, since we're here, and I did mention that there might be a bit of a business proposal, if you're interested. You see, I have a package that I need to get delivered to Coldhorn. Now, I will be accompanying you if you should agree. I'm just looking for... I'll just cut to the chase, gentlemen. I'm looking for a bit of muscle to accompany me in making this delivery. Would you be interested?
Could you maybe tell us, excuse me, sir, when it comes to muscle, I usually take over. What do you have in mind? And is it in Vargas?
The delivery needs to be made to Coldhorn, so I will join you on the Dragonfly. When we get to Coldhorn, you just need to
accompany
me till I make my drop-off.
I assume
It'll be quick, and I will pick up the costs for the Dragonfly.
I turn to my good man. What do you think?
Brathis has already left.
Oh, okay, that's right. Well, I need to obviously discuss this with Brathis, as you know.
Of course.
I can't speak for these two gentlemen. We just met. I don't know where they're headed to, so I'll let them speak for them. But I'll take your offer. Might I ask what, aside from covering the cost, is there some sort of fee that we can garner?
Darum smiles and says, "Have you ever paid for an airship to Coldhorn?"
As you know, we've never been, sir.
It's not a cheap proposition.
I understand. but the question still remains. I believe this is called negotiating. I'm not very good at it.
Each of you will... Each room aboard the Dragonfly will be between 75 and 100 gold pieces. When we are successfully at my clients in Coldhorn, above the payment for your travels, I will give you an additional 100 gold pieces.
Lafferty chimes in. Sir, does this offer extend to us too, or just those two?
I would hope all four of you will join me. The additional look of protection is what I need.
Okay. Is there any way I could negotiate a little different? I mean, the value could be the same, but could I have one of those? Maybe not the diamond, but another gem that's maybe of the same value. That would be, I'd take that in a heartbeat. Yes.
Absolutely, son. We can make your cut a gem.
Thank you. Yes, count me in. Yes, I've never been to Coldhorn. Yeah, count me in.
Landis will look over to Darum. I can't think of a better adventure than free accommodation on an airship, Darum. It's an offer I can't refuse.
Excellent, excellent then. My ask, gentlemen, then, is when we arrive in Vargas, I have some immediate business I will need to take care of. Please join me for dinner at the Storm's End. I call that little inn my home, and I would love it if I could pay for your dinners, but I do need you each to individually go to the Dragonfly to arrange your own travel. They do want to see each person in person in order to make the arrangements. I will send word that I will make the payments. You just need to go and make your bookings. Is that agreeable then?
For me, yes. Yes.
Excellent.
Landis will... Darum, I travel with a companion I've had for some quite time. Do you see any issues with the Dragonfly allowing a dog on board?
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
Excellent.
If you brought a sheep on board, it might draw a strange look. A dog, not at all.
Well, I don't bring girlfriends on business.
Well then, gentlemen, with business spoken of, shall we have another drink then?
Certainly.
Surprised you have more left.
I'll be right back. So Darum gets up and heads off. Mr. Belfour has reached the bottom of the stairs on the mid-deck. Where are you going, sir?
He's just making sure that a certain tiefling mistress is not roaming his cabin while he's not around. You don't trust...
She seems to have headed off to her room. You don't see her anywhere. The privy is on this floor, and the door is locked. She may be using the facilities. She's no guh, but she needs her privacy.
Somewhere.
We have been dining and eating for hours.
Somewhere a bard shudders.
Yeah.
Somewhere a bard shudders.
Raphus will casually make his way back to his room. and
Okay.
and wait till he is her room near their room. Does he know that?
Her room is one of the first room on the left. Nightingale's room is the last room on the left. There's a room in the middle. On your side, it is Lafferty. So you've got Diva, Lafferty, Nightingale. Then on the other side, you've got Durham, Landis, Douglan. And with Nightingale and Douglan are across from each other.
Then Nightingale will. Is there a key? Is it a keyed door?
No, there's no locks on the doors.
Okay. Then he'll kind of casually wait till he hears her coming and pretend he's entering at the same time.
All right. She walks out of the privy. Oh. Surprised to see you here. Are you not joining the rest of the gentlemen for another drop of drink, then?
My lady, I've had one too many dwarven brandies this evening, and the motion of the ocean doesn't do me a world of good, you see.
Well, if there's one thing I've learned, one is too many dwarven brandies.
I can back that one up, my dear. You seem to be heading to bed early yourself.
Yes, I do find the ocean doesn't agree with me as much as I would hope. I just want to get to bed and sleep this trip away.
Indeed. Well, best of luck at your games, my dear.
And best of luck at your ruse, sir. She smiles and coyly smiles and heads into her room, closing the door.
It's a tiefling. Go for
Yeah, she's already horny.
it. The stories you could tell.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad humor right
Bad tiefling jokes. Bad
there.
tiefling
Bad
jokes.
tiefling joke right there.
I will.
Every tiefling in Emathan just groaned for a reason they're not sure of.
Yeah.
Face palmed.
Always. I'll just enter my room.
Okay.
You got brandy dick. It's like whiskey anyway. Another bad joke. All right, moving on. We're allowed a few. Okay.
Ah, dude. Yeah.
Worse than the horny joke.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll just begin the process of sliding my big trunk in front of my door. A chair.
All right. For the rest of you, you spend another couple of hours. The captain comes back at one point. His cabin is further back in the aft deck, so he comes through the dining room into his cabin. Tells you all, stay as long as you want, enjoy the drink, enjoy the night, and he heads into his cabin. You drink way too much, stagger off to your rooms, and wake up late morning the next day.
So Landis would have taken a few large meaty chunks back to mud.
Okay.
It took me a second to process that in my head, Barry. I'm sorry. I was like, Bud's his dog. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Bud's the dog.
And by meaty chunks, as much as he could carry.
I love that you have a dog. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. It is, we're going to say late morning when everybody kind of finds themselves back up on deck. There is no sign of Diza. But Durham is up on the forward deck, and
Nightingale
flask in hand, looking about the ocean.
Nightingale would have gotten up early to, well, being that he only sleeps 4 hours, get his makeup on and then slip over to get Douglan rediddied.
It's just-
Pucker the lips,
clump the face.
Nightingale, please tell me we're not going to have to hold on to this at Argus. Please. Can't take it anymore.
Well, Douglan, as much as I do enjoy you as Jaspers, you'll have to carry it on till we're done with this dwarf fellow or the ruse is up.
Is Lafferty there or no?
You're all together, I would assume. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Douglan, I could help with that if you'd like. If you don't want to have to wear all that getup. What are you talking about? Well, yeah, I have this. Well, I can make something, and if you drink it, you can be what you are right now, but without all the makeup on.
How long would that last, my good man?
Well, it's not a long time. It's not perfected. It only lasts about 10 minutes. So yeah, maybe that's not the best thing right now if we're going through the city. But remember it. If we're in a bind, we could probably do it for a short term. So
it's a very interesting ability you have there, my good man.
Well, you too, Jaspers. You can have it too. Just tell me when you need it.
And once I have got him diddied, we will go on deck. Landis will bring Mud, get a little stretch and walk him around.
Cock his leg against the side of the ship somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. You make your way up onto the deck. And like I said, you can see Darum is up on the front of the ship. He's just kind of looking around and nipping off of his flask. The forward cabin is the kitchen, which you have now established. The cook from last night comes out with a wooden bowl full of all of the scraps from the stuff. And he comes over and he hands it to Landis and he says, "For your dog."
I appreciate that. Thank you. It'll be the best meal Mud has had in forever.
Yeah, just drop the bowl off when you're done.
It'll do. Thank you.
Darum comes down and,
Well, good morning to y'all. Anyone want a drink?
I'm topped right up right now, my good man. Thank you.
Haven't seen Deeza yet this morning, have you?
I haven't had the fortune of running into Miss Deeza this morning.
Well, she said she didn't like sailing, so I'm guessing she's just trying to sleep it off.
The lady might be getting ready for a big game.
She could indeed.
Now, I must ask myself, how does one, being a subterranean species, enjoy the water?
I hates it, but I've had to do a lot of sailing, so I've gotten used to it, and I've found a few nips off my flask. It just helps calm the nerves, you know.
I see. Medicinal.
No, the drunker I am, the more I like it.
My apologies for the assumption. Now, Mr. I can't remember his last name.
he's never given it to you. Oh, Molten Mane, sorry.
Molten Mane, yes.
Deeza's never given you her
Yeah.
last name.
Molten Mane.
Mr. Molten Mane, my good man Jaspers has informed me of your dealings, and I think it is a fair offer, more generous than we normally would receive. I would ask you a slight favor.
Of course.
Perhaps not waving that little pouch of yours around.
in Vargas. We'd hate to draw more attention than we need.
My boy, I live in Vargas. I know what you do and you don't do in Vargas.
Fair enough. I'm just a man that doesn't like chance.
And don't gamble in Vargas.
I don't plan on it with women like these around.
Oh, she's a good one, isn't she?
I would find that a bit
Almost.
distracting.
So mysterious.
Do
Yes.
you know her?
Not at all. Met her when you did.
You'll have to excuse Jaspers. He's not able to fornicate. He's a eunuch, you see.
Jesus Christ. And meanwhile, Douglan in his head is like, how the hell did Darum think that Brafas was muscle that he wants to hire to guard his diamonds?
Oh my.
Oh, the mysteries.
I think he's looking at me as more as a hit point shield, my good man. Take a punch or two for him.
He's a eunuch.
Douglan just like can't wait.
So, as the five of you are chatting on the deck, you notice off in the distance there is another ship coming in on an intercept course to the Raven Song. It has the attention of the crew. And as the two ships, you know, they're clearly on an intercept. You hear that the second crewman that's up at the helm lets out a whistle. Trying to get the attention of those on deck. You see that two of the crew members, they immediately make their way over to a chest. They pull out, so the Raven Song is flying her flag. They connect a black flag, it's just completely black, up to another rope and run it up the main mast. So it's flying just underneath the Raven Song. The other ship, which was on the parallel course, turns off and starts to leave as you guys continue along. The captain comes out from his cabin, goes up to the helm, talks to the helmsman and the gentleman who blew the whistle. He comes back down, seeing your little party of five there chatting, and makes his way over and... Well, good morning, gentlemen. How is everyone feeling today?
Well, I can't speak for the others, but that meal you invited us to was amazing, my good man.
I'm very glad you enjoyed it. That's the idea.
Quite delicious.
Captain Gray, I must ask, your men just ran a black flag that seemed to signal another ship. Is there something we should be concerned about?
No concern at all. Yeah. Let's just say that
The Raven Song is known here?
Sailing these seas comes at a cost. And I've already paid the cost.
I see. We've chosen the right ship to be upon.
Indeed.
Well, thank you, Captain Gray.
And even as you're speaking, the crew is back over and they've got that black flag down and put away.
Mental note, Jaspers. Get a black flag if we're ever in these waters.
Okay. I got
The
nothing.
captain's like, is Diza not up yet?
None of us have seen her, Captain. Perhaps you should check on Madam in case she is not feeling well.
I think I will do that. The comfort of my passengers is important to me.
Would you need assistance from myself or my good man?
We'll try and keep it as discreet as possible. I'll check on her myself.
Indeed, I'm sure the madam would prefer that.
He heads off back into the aft cabin, head downstairs, and the five of you are left alone once again.
Landis will ask Lafferty what he'll kind of pull Lafferty aside and ask Lafferty what brings him on board the Ravens song.
Is Dam there?
Yep. He's still there. Darum.
Darum. Perhaps not time right now. I'll tell you another time, okay? And he kind of like goes like this to Darum. He is not subtle.
All right, Lafferty.
Darum kind of sensing there's a conversation here that maybe he doesn't need to be a part of. He heads off back up on the top of the forward cabin to enjoy the wind and the weather.
So we're alone again.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Landis, I'd have to get permission from them. But yeah, I'm here to help. I was hired.
Well, while you're standing there, this giant wolfhound walks over and flumps itself down on your feet.
Douglan's like, "Oh, good boy. Can I pet your dog?" He drops the ruse. "Can I pet your dog?"
Landis looks at you and is like, Mud would like nothing better.
So how experienced people with dogs, he lets him sniff. Hopefully he takes
pretty tame lump of a dog.
Oh, look at this guy. Douglan just becomes a little, little crazy.
Landis is watching you for a bit. He's like, I found Mud in a puddle when he was just a pup. Hence the name, Mud.
He's a good boy, isn't he? Yes, he is.
He's been with me for 6 years as I wandered this earth. He's a fine companion. Lazy as hell, but he's something to cuddle up to and talk to when the nights grow long.
You're a lucky man.
You say that now, but you ain't got to feed him or clean up after him. You should see my suite.
Oh, I have 5 kids, lad. I know what it's like to clean up after things.
It's like I got a homeless person crapping in my room.
Have you ever had teenagers?
Not yet, no.
Not crapping in my room.
Like I said, have you ever had teenagers? No. The room smells like someone did.
Raphis will kind of, with the group that's here,
Gentlemen, with our arrangement with Durham, I believe we should expect company. A man such as him would draw attention with the kind of coin he seems to be carrying in his purse. Why else would he ask for accompaniment?
I think you have the right of it, Rafas.
If it's not asking too much of Lafferty and Landis, perhaps, we
my good man Jaspers and myself check in at the Dragonfly, you two could maybe check out the Storm Ends Inn. Scope it out a little before we get there, and then we can switch.
Certainly. Yeah. If that's what
Lafferty,
you guys
you seem to be a man of details. Look for anything that stands out.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
say nothing to anyone.
I can even, if you'd like, I can even put it like a picture for you. I can have the image exactly what I see if you'd like. And I can reproduce it if you'd like. That would be called
Subsection 9, Chapter 13.
picture or text. Up to 25 words, lines, shapes, or a mixture. Thank you. Moving on.
Excellent. I look
I'm-
forward to your gadgetry.
I'm breaking out all the little stuff that he can do. damn it.
Awesome. Do it up.
But yeah,
Landis is more than willing to go check it out. He's born, bred explorer. He'll check anything out first. Gents,
All right,
do
gentlemen.
watch your backs.
Early, we're into mid-afternoon now. Diza has made an appearance. She's dressed quite fancifully now, in anticipation of arrival in Vargas, in a couple of hours. The Raven Song has moved closer towards the coast as you are getting closer to Vargas. There's lots, you are sort of on parallel course with other ships of varying sizes and makes and shapes and such. Diza doesn't have a lot to say, although she does have a bit of a smirk on her face every time she addresses Jesper and Baraphus.
If there's any chance that Baraphus can say a word or two to Diza in private, even in passing.
Yeah,
It'll be like-
absolutely. There'll be lots of opportunity in the afternoon as you're approaching Vargas.
He'll be like, Madam, as a card player, you must understand that one does not show one's hand. And I hope that in Vargas, perhaps we will meet under a different circumstance.
She comes over and gets uncomfortably close to Baraphus, and she says, "Your business is yours, and my business is mine. You'll have to excuse my prodding. It's in my nature. You're free to be whoever you want, Baraphus. Enjoy Vargas."
Well, if I am forthright in my speaking this to you without offending you, it has been a pleasure to be prodded. And I hope you all the luck in Vargas, as I assume we will never see you again.
She moves in so that her lips are just almost on Baraphus's ear, and she says, "Just remember, if I saw through this, Vargas is full of me." And then she carries on downstairs.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how aroused is Nightingale?
It's really hard. He's my brother.
Oh, good stuff right there.
There's a whole level of just awkwardness that's unbelievable.
It went all kinds of weirdly awkward.
So-
I almost
Are your lips so close to mine that we could almost touch them?
I almost had rye shoot out my nose. You thought the dwarven brandy was burning. Oh my god.
Oh, that's good right there.
Oh, very good stuff,
Whew.
man.
Excellent.
Sorry to break that fourth wall, everyone.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any other conversations you would like to have before the Raven song begins to dock at
Yes.
Vargas?
Braffus Belfort would like to talk to Captain Gray if he could get a word.
Yep. That is I mean, all you have to do is go and knock on his door. If he's always either in his cabin. Quite often you find him in that dining room, you know, going through papers and such, the various manifests he has for the cargo, mills about the ship. He sometimes comes downstairs just to chat and have a nip with Darum.
Braffus isn't going to search him out, but if the captain comes by before we dock, he'll just thank him for, you know, all he's done to make this a pleasurable experience, and letting him know that Belfort will look up the Raven song next time I'm in need of a good ship and a good captain.
Well, sir, that's all I ask for. I hope you enjoyed your trip, and when you're looking for transportation of people and cargo, keep the Raven song in mind.
Thank you, Captain Gray. Jaspers, thank the captain.
Thank you, sir. Yes, thank you, Captain. Thank you. It was wonderful. The meal was fantastic. I like how you paired the fish with the wine that you had on the. It was wonderful. Thank you.
The captain kind of just gives a little nod and
Like scoot
just,
scoot him away.
Just kind of moves away as Lafferty is expanding on
Subtleties of the cuisine.
So, you are now late afternoon. As hoped by the captain, you are getting in a little bit earlier. The winds have been favorable. We'll say, you know, it's maybe 5 o'clock or so, late afternoon. Not a lot earlier, but, you know, you did manage to get in a little bit early.
As we're getting close, Colin,
Yep.
Nightingale will slip downstairs, pull that pillow out, curse to himself that he's got to wear all this crap again, and open his chest up and load up his little side bag and close himself back up again, and make sure he's got a hanky on hand for
For the hard work ahead.
the hard work ahead.
All right, you as the Raven song approaches, what you see is there is this very, very high cliffside. So you've been moving into this area where the coastline has been developing into higher and higher cliff line. The Raven song starts to sort of nose in towards one of the largest sections of cliff facing you've seen. You can see that there is a large opening in the cliff face. coming out of that opening on either side of the cliffed area, you can see buildings and such that are built into the cliff sides, and you actually see there is a ship, again, much like you saw in Evandor, where a bunch of rowboats are pulling a sail ship, and they're actually pulling it into that cavern opening. And you can, as you get closer, you can see there's actually buildings that go down inside of that cavern opening, as you're getting closer. And you realize that you are approaching Vargas.
When we're kind of getting to that point, Brathis is going to lean over to Jaspers and be like,
Jaspers, my good man, may I have a word with you in private?
Of course.
Do excuse us, Landis and Lafferty.
and he'll kind of go to a secluded side of the ship.
Douglan,
Hey,
Diza said that if we go into Vargas in disguise, we may draw more attention than if we went in as ourselves. She didn't really word it that way, but she said if she could see through our ruse, many in Vargas would see through our ruse.
perhaps we get off the ship, find a little seclusion, take off all this crap that I've been wearing, and just take it from there. But I think the folks on this ship, since they're going to be heading back, it's better they don't know who we are. I don't know Disa from a hole in the wall, but I'm hoping that she keeps our ruse. She could have easily told everyone who we were, and she didn't.
I believe that woman is the kind of girl who's plays her cards when the time is appropriate, if I may word it that way.
I think you're right, but
If
nevertheless,
we play those cards before she does, we may gain an upper hand. So how about we head to the Storm's Inn, get ourselves a room, and swap there in private?
I think that's a good idea. Let's just get off the ship, so at least the sailors here, when they head back to Evandor, they
Yes.
don't blab.
Exactly. Excellent, Jaspers. Yes, I will.
And he'll say it a bit loud enough so like the people around can hear it.
I'll not mention again that you're a eunuch. I do apologize for the embarrassment.
Now give him a little nudge with my elbow.
You're
It's all in the details. It's all in the details.
All right. The crew, crashes all the sails as the Raven song gets close, and she mostly coasts in towards this big opening in the cliffside, and then there's a bunch of rowboats they put over the sides, and a large portion of the crew, taking ropes, start rowing the ship in towards the cliffside and towards Vargas. After it probably takes a half hour or so before you're actually at the point where now you're passing the parts of Vargas that are outside of this big, enormous cave that the Raven song is being rowed into. You sort of knew what Vargas was about, heard stories, but when you hear that Vargas is, basically inside of this enormous sea cavern, it's quite interesting to be getting rowed in there. So, a couple of things. I'm going to share the map of the Raven song with you, just so you can see it. The ship that you have been on.
Cool. Oh yeah. Wow.
Look at that.
So much of it we didn't explore.
So you can see on the mid deck there the 6 cabins towards the aft on the left hand side. That's where the common room was. Privy's on the other side. You can see there's actually, for the crew, they don't mind joining each other in a good poop.
Wow.
The bottom of the ship is where all the cargo, bunch more, there's a crew area, beds in various places, crew areas. There's a bit of a couple of cells in the back. Captain Gray has been known to haul a few undesirables around the coast as necessary. And you can see the captain's quarters with the lunch area. And then right beside it, that is the kitchen that's in the forward cabin.
Very cool.
That
Just thought I'd
is a
share that
cool-
with you.
That is a cool map.
picture.
Okay. Mental note. Want to ship like that one day.
All right. Now you are moving into Vargas, and I wanted to share little couple of pictures and that I threw together to kind of give you the flavor of what Vargas looks like. So I will share that with you.
Hope you're sharing these with our audience, Colin.
I am indeed.
Hello, you. Oh, sweet.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I just thought this would give you kind of a bit of a flavor of what Vargas looks like. The way it's literally just built into this cavern. So when you're first pulled into Vargas, there's a large harbor area that's directly inside the cavern. This is an area where a lot of the sea-going ships anchor up. But then there's all these channels that branch out back through the cave where all of the buildings and such for Vargas are found. So it's really a city that's been built into the walls, and some of Vargas is outside buildings. Some of Vargas is actually carved right into the cavern itself, tunnels and buildings and such. There's about approximately 2,000 people or so live in Vargas. And they're pirates and mercenaries, bounty hunters, treasure hunters, adventurers, black market merchants. Like the captain said, they're the dark underbelly of the protected lands. The majority of the city is housed inside of this just giant water-filled cavern. The buildings are built into and on the cave walls and docks that surround it. The main harbor area is open to the sky above. So although you go inside the cavern, you look up, there's actually a fairly large area that's open to the sky above. That's what allows the airships and skyships to use Vargas as a port as well.
Cool. So Vargas is like whale spells sketchy brother.
Sketchy brother, yeah. Exactly.
In the protected lands.
Very sketchy brother.
He's like whale spells drug dealer brother that shows up every now and then in a van.
Down by the river.
Yep. Oh, that looks awesome, man.
Perhaps we should spend a few months here. get to be a local.
I'm just joking. I want to get out of here with my purse with all of its coin. Thank
I
you.
just want to get out of here with my purse.
We were told to get in and out.
I know, Jaspers. Ooh, someone just popped a cork.
Pardon me.
Pulling a little dwarven brandy yourself, aren't you?
Just a little bit.
I accidentally closed Fantasy Grounds on our studio audience, so I'm just reopening that.
No.
That's okay. We're all fine. Everybody's fine.
So how's our fan, Barry?
I think good.
Okay, so we have now anchored inside of the big cavern. There are 3 other ships that are currently anchored in here. The crew takes time with those rowboats that they were originally pulling the ships into the harbor with.
Oh, sorry,
And-
Colin. Sorry, real quick.
Yep.
New day. I'll just make a quick roll. Don't worry. I'll do it on
Yep.
the side. Just want to let you know. Sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. And eventually, so in the first load, they take Durham, Lafferty, and Landis to the dock. And then they come back. And because of Diza's trunks, the ship's pretty crowded for the next trip back to shore. But now the 6 of you are on the dock. And as you're sort of getting organized amongst yourselves, and Diza waits, they load her 2 trunks up. As soon as Diza is on the dock, there are 2 rather rough-looking half-orc gentlemen that come over. They grab onto her and kind of haul her off to the side, and they're talking to her. She looks back at the rest of you with a look that says, "Help."
Well,
Okay. Guys, I think the mistress might be in some distress there. Douglan, take this, and he hands him the potion that he just concocted in the morning.
Well, Lafferty is drugging Douglan. Raphis will stroll over to Diza and pretend like he doesn't even see the 2. He'll just go up and take her hand and be like, "My lady, it has been a pleasure to cruise with you. Perhaps we could share a drink or 2 if you're not
Dwarven
busy."
brandy.
One of the 2 half-orcs looks at you and says, "You need to get your fat ass out of here before I carve it off you."
my good man, that's not a way to talk to Belfast. Belfort. Damn it, I said my own name wrong.
Douglan,
Raphis Belfort. Jaspers, come here, please.
yeah, Douglan takes his Mary Poppins cane and just said,
It has a different name every time.
yeah, exactly. You want to ask that again, son?
His partner in crime here turns towards Jespers and says, "He said you want to take your fat ass out of here."
Well, I don't know if the lady wants your company right now. Is that the case, Disa? you want these two lads to hit the road? And he slips back into his Douglan accent. Well, his voice.
That would be preferable to the current situation.
Well, there you go, lads.
She looks uncomfortable with what's going on.
Gentlemen, everyone just calm down. It seems to be a bit of a misunderstanding. You two fine blokes seem to have this fine lady mistaken for someone else, and clearly it's easy to do as she is quite beautiful and everyone wants her attention, but clearly she's not who you're looking for, so perhaps you guys can check another wharf for whatever creature you're looking for and be off before this gets messy.
The two half-orcs kind of look at each other. They let go of Giza. The one who originally spoke turns to her and goes, "You've got business that needs to be taken care of, Missy. We'll find you again." And they kind of walk away, back away towards from you guys, and then they turn and the one who's been doing most of the talking kind of gives to Diza and wanders off.
Well, Diza, you've made a great impression already.
Yes, this is quite unexpected, gentlemen. I'm not sure quite what to say for myself, but, a girl in my business does make a few enemies along the way. Maybe I could ask for some assistance to get to where I'm going?
And where would that be?
Well, Durham's made an arrangement for a suite at the Storm's End for me. Any chance a couple of you could help me get there?
Just happens to be where we're headed, my lady. You're more than welcome to join us. Do you happen to know the way?
Then I'll gladly pay for the transportation. Now, Vargas, there are no coaches in Vargas. There is no ability for coaches. When people have to move things through Vargas, it's done by men with carts. So almost like
Rickshaws.
Rickshaws. That's it's a rickshaw kind of town is how people get around these narrow little, if two people sit in one of the rickshaws full grown, they're pretty cramped in one of these, and there's rickshaws that carry cargo, there's rickshaws that carry people, and they're waiting all over the docks for someone who needs them.
Mr. Hang on.
Belfour.
Yeah, Mr. Belfour, Mr. Braffus. Can I speak to you for a minute?
Excuse me, lady.
Yes. Why don't we come with you, all of us, to Storm's End? But we won't go in, and then maybe Landis and I can go check out the place that you wanted us to. But let's all go together there so we know where it's at, because it's my first time in the city, and I wouldn't know where to find you.
Yes, that's a good plan, Lafferty. You and Landis follow us to the inn.
So
and then we'll decide what to do.
Sorry, as you're chatting amongst yourselves, a young teenage boy approaches the four of you. He comes up. He's clean and neatly dressed, but you can tell his clothing is pretty old, pretty worn, but he's doing his best to look as dapper as possible, right? And he comes up and kind of puts his hands on his hips, and he says, "Well, hello, boys. The name's Malcolm. I've been watching you all, and I'm thinking you're probably new to Vargas. Is that right now?"
No, of course not. We know where we're going. Isn't that right, Mr. Braffus?
Indeed. What do you want, boy?
So you're liars, which means you'll fit in here in Vargas very well. I'd like to offer up my services as a guide for you. You see, I know the city pretty well, and those that are new here, well, you're just going to get frickin' lost. 1 silver piece a day, I will make sure you get where you want to go when you want to be there. Do we have a deal then?
Lisa, this is your town. You tell us.
This is not my town. I've already got myself in bloody trouble.
Listen, boy. I'll make you a deal you can't refuse. 3 silver pieces. You get us to where we want to go, and you keep your trap shut about where we go and what we do.
Well, you see, that's the way it works here in Vargas. For the right coin, you get looked after. And I could look after you. 3 silver pieces means you will get my platinum package. Anything you need, anywhere you need to be, anytime you need to be there, I've got you covered.
Indeed.
What do you need right now? Where are you going?
Right now, we want to get to the Storm's End.
Done. He turns around and just lets out a blast of a whistle, and 4 rickshaws show up, ready to pile you and all your shit in them.
My
2
shit
rickshaws
is-
are just required for Deeza's stuff.
Can Nightingale?
Who?
Well, it's Nightingale's my character.
He's talking in his head to that
Yep.
special being.
I will throw in a bit of thieves' cant while talking to this boy. You know, discussing how we want to take, safe routes and not cause too much of a ruckus when we head to Storm's End. To see
So-
if there's any type of a response.
Malcolm replies in Thieves' Cant. You talk that shit in Vargas, you'll get your throat slit.
Good to know, boy.
Indeed.
You might be worth the 3 silver I'm paying you.
I'll be worth more than that now, I will.
That was good.
Okay. Landis will throw his saddle and all his belongings into a rickshaw and climb in with Lafferty.
All right. You all pile into the rickshaws with your belongings and people and all the rest, and they head off through Vargas. So Vargas is, narrow, windy roads that are carved into the rock side where, if you fell off the one side, you'd drop 10 feet down to a road down below you, or a bit on top of a building or whatever. On the other side, it's all buildings and doorways, and these rickshaw people move at a terrifying pace through this maze of, and then they cut across suspension bridges where you're like, across and up the other side again, because they got to get as much speed as they can so they can make it back up the other side. And after about 20 minutes or so, they stop in front of, by the sign, the Storm's End Inn.
Raffus will waddle his way out of the carriage, help Deeza down, or the rickshaw, I should say.
Malcolm comes over to Raffus and says, "It's 4 copper for each of the rickshaws."
Jaspers, pay the man.
Reaches in.
Oh my god! It's standing too! Just pay the bill.
16 coppers, please.
I got it right here. I do. I'll take it out. And I hand him the coppers.
Now,
All right.
Malcolm, we've got business inside that we don't need a tag-along for. What are you going to do?
I'll be waiting right outside the door, and when you need me, I'll be here. I'll get it done.
Perfect.
Hey! Malcolm comes over. Who's the hot chick?
That is a lady, and she's none of your business.
Understood. Just asking. Just asking.
But since you're asking, my good man, and eager to earn, I do have a favor to ask.
Done. What's next?
We were greeted by 2 gentlemen when we got off the ship.
Indeed you were. I saw it.
Indeed. And I would like to know who those men are.
Drod and Gardor.
Well, that was easy.
Shock.
Bad asses. I was wondering who she was, because she's got herself into some very deep sheep.
And who do those gentlemen work for?
I don't know for sure. They got a lot of contacts outside of Vargas. They kind of get shit done inside of Vargas for people outside of Vargas, if you know what I mean.
Yes. You would see
Whoever they're working for is not in Vargas.
Well, let me put it this way to you, Malcolm, my dear boy. If you catch wind of them anywhere within the vicinity of myself or my friends, there could be a bit of a reward in it for you.
Quite frankly, if I catch wind of 2 of those, I'll be puking up my dinner.
Well,
Oh, sorry. That was a bit of a joke.
yes.
That's pretty good.
And Raffus will just turn and walk inside.
I'll be right out here then. Just waiting
Yeah.
for you.
Got it.
Okay? Right here.
Should meet my friend Lafferty.
Yes, very, very nice to meet you.
Okay, you make your way into...
Hold up, point of reference. We all
Holding.
needed to physically go to the Dragonfly,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Correct.
Did you
Check
want us
in.
to? Did you want Lafferty and Landis to go to the Windwalker Travel?
Not right now.
Okay.
Come with us first.
Okay.
Because I'd rather them be around during the change-o, the Preston change-o, so they don't lose sight of who we are yet again.
All right. You make your way into...
Storm's End.
Yes, and I'm gonna... So, you're inside of the Storm's Inn, and, it is It is quite large inside, and your immediate vibe is this is probably a higher end establishment within Vargas. The people in here look prosperous in their dress, the way they hold themselves, the conversations they're having. Everything inside of the Storm's End is very clean and tidy and newer looking. The barmaids that are working the room are all very nicely dressed, and you can tell you're in a high end establishment compared to the bit of the rat's nest that you've just traveled through to get here.
And it doesn't smell like sea ass and puke.
Exactly.
Nice. Does it look like there's a gentleman in charge that Braffus Belfort could talk with?
There is a couple gentlemen up at a central bar, who are attending to making drinks and answering questions of patrons and such.
Braffus will look to Diza and be like, "My lady, shall we secure accommodation?"
Well, now, I believe it's already been arranged for me. I should just need to check in.
Rafus, you mind if I ask a question?
Not at all.
Disa, why is it that
Yes.
you get off a ship from Evandor and you are, well, greeted by two half orcs? You mind sharing why?
Well, I do imagine that based on your saving my buxom ass, that I should come clean. I am a gambler, but I've had a bit of a rough spell while I was in Whalespell. And I owe a gentleman there a bit of coin, and it would seem that he's found me. I had traveled here to Vargas hoping I could lay low for a while, but clearly that's not going to work.
Well, Rafus tells me you did us a solid by not saying nothing. So we returned the favor, but I think we're now neck deep in this. How much is a little coin?
A lot of coin?
The kind that two half orc ruffians is a bargain in exchange for?
The kind that gets a pretty young lass like me split in two.
I see. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we'll just add that to the pile, won't we, Braffus?
It would seem we pick up many strays, Douglan. I mean, Jespers.
Ha!
He finally slipped!
Ha! Oh, God.
Shut up in there. I'm not saying a word.
Well, did I understand it right that you are coming to Cold Hand Luke's with us? Where is it? Coldhorn with us?
I wasn't planning on it, but if gentlemen are offering, I probably think I need to get my ass out of here.
Well, our protection leaves pretty quick, so you decide.
My ass will be following it.
Yeah. There's really not much I can do other than insight check, but she's already told us. I mean, she kind of kept our secret clean. So we'll see.
And you just saved her ass.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, Bravis, you want to get us rooms or should I?
I will see about the rooms. Jaffrey's, you just keep an eye on our herd.
Yeah.
I'll walk up to the bar. Kind of.
Diva walks up to the bar with Braffis. She turns to Braffis and says, do you mind if I just ask first?
Please.
I would like to just get to my room.
Indeed, my lady.
She goes up, she talks to the bartender, he hands her a key, and she goes outside, talks to Malcolm, he arranges getting her trunks up to the room, and she's gone.
What? Oh, excuse me. Once she's kind of dealt with Braffis, be,
My good man, I need some rooms. They've been arranged or will be paid for by Durham. Not domain.
The bartender comes over and says, I'm sorry, sir. There's no rooms left here. Durham arranged a room for the lady, but he's asked that just down from here there is the Good Night's Rest, and he's made arrangements for you there.
I see.
Night is spelled Knight. Good Night's Rest.
It's the good night in.
Clever play on words. Well then, it would seem we're staying elsewhere, gentlemen.
This isn't an inn, right? It's just a tavern.
The
Storm's End is an
Storm's
inn.
End is an inn. It's
It
a
is. Okay.
so it's an inn per se, but everyone who lives here lives here.
Got it.
It's all suites that people rent on a long-term basis.
Okay.
okay, we will head to the Good Night's Rest.
All right. As the gentleman told you, it's just a short distance. Malcolm takes you just up the way across the bridge and on this little area. It's the Good Night's Inn, or the Good Night's Rest.
What's it like?
You-
will enter.
Welcome.
It's a nice. It is quite nice inside. It is smaller than the Storm's End was, but it has a cozier feel to it. The clientele, they don't look as posh as the people were at the Storm's Inn, but it's a it doesn't seem to be a lower end establishment. It's a sort of a mid.
Jaspers, it would seem that Deezer played her cards much better than we did in regards to Durham.
Yeah, it's a little strange that she wanted to ask first and got a room, and now we're here. I don't know what to make of that.
Better the devil we know than the devil we don't.
I guess.
Let's get rooms. I need to get out of this suit.
Yes, you're right. We need to change.
I've got sweat in areas I didn't know could sweat.
I have something for that if you need.
No, I don't want anything Lafferty.
All right, so there's a bartender who's doing his thing. There's a younger gal who's serving. There's probably a dozen or so patrons um, in the tavern portion of the inn, and she immediately comes over as the four of you enter, and she says, "Well, good day, gentlemen. Um, are you just here for food and drink, or do you need a room?"
Have we eaten in a while?
Nope.
We're here for both, madam.
Oh, dear God, don't call me madam. My name is Olivia.
Well, Olivia, you must accept my grandest apology. We would like something to drink, a bit of food as we've been traveling, and some rooms, please.
You see,
Can't hear you, bro.
sorry, is one of you Brofus?
I am Braffus, yes.
Brafus, sorry. Rooms have been arranged for the four of you.
Excellent.
Find yourselves a table. I'll be over shortly to take your order.
Thank you. We'll find a fairly secluded table, something in a corner against the wall or something. We can get a bit of privacy.
Yeah, you find one sort of towards the back of the tavern, close to the stairs that go up to the rooms.
Well, gentlemen, what's our plan? We've picked up another hitchhiker. She seems to bring trouble with her. And we're now security detail for a dwarf that carries around a pouch of diamonds worth more than probably everything in this town.
Are we sitting at a table? Are we in a room?
You're sitting in a table towards the back of the tavern.
So we're kind of secluded.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna drop the accent. Did we get a chance to change yet, or no? We don't have a room yet. Okay.
No, Olivia said there have been rooms arranged for you, but you haven't been up to them yet.
Okay. Landis, tell me, you have any tricks up your sleeve there that would kind of allow us to take a look at things that aren't here, seeing people far away? Again, I don't know how the mystical arts work, but thought I'd ask.
You're asking me to spy on someone? I beg your pardon. I'm just trying to understand.
I'm not sure if you know, but we've got a lot of people after us. And we just saved a girl from two very mean looking half orcs that more or less said they're going to come pay us a visit again. Anything you can do to give us a heads up, call it spying if you will, just trying to keep us alive.
I can set up a sentry of sorts, yes.
It's good to know. And Lafferty, what about you? What sort of mixtures can you come up with? Well, you see, there's a few things that I could do, but I can't really spy on anyone right now. But I can set up some things that would, sort of by a room, we can trigger a little alarm. That way we know, so we can sleep if we need to. But yeah, I can't really see it, people far away. No, I can't do that. All right. Well, feel free to share any things you guys can do. We just met you, but something tells me we're going to be in a little bit of a scrap here soon. I don't know. We seem to always have scraps coming our way. Isn't that right, Bravis?
Well, they come your way. I happen to be with you, so yes.
Malcolm comes in. You guys can kind of see the front door. He comes in, walks over to your table, and goes, "So, gentlemen, I just was back down at the Storm's End, and you're supposed to be meeting Durham for dinner."
You're good, kid.
Hey, he just told me to relay the message to you lot. He's kind of expecting you. That's all I'm saying.
Raphis will flip the boy a copper.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey guys, do you mind if I take a quick bite? I've been holding it for like an hour. Do you guys mind? I know it's close to the end, but I can't hold it.
Okay, we can take a real quick
Real quick
break.
break. I'm so sorry,
Fine.
guys. I'm so
Nope,
sorry.
not a problem. We'll be right back. All right, gentlemen.
Well, damn it. This day's been a frenzy of activity, and we seem to forget our dinner date.
Someone, Malcolm, can you tell Olivia we'll be back for our rooms? We
No,
forgot
I'd like to drop off my stuff, Doug.
Oh, yes, you're right.
All right. When Olivia comes back, you explain that you have to leave. She goes and gets your keys and gives everybody a key to their room. The Good Night's Rest, the rooms are all carved into the rock side. They have out-facing windows, but when you're traveling to the various rooms, you're walking up staircases that are carved like tunnels into the rock
Cool.
side. And then you come to where a room is. Oh, that's my room. You unlock and you go into a room. They all have windows that face out. But the walls, the ceiling, everything inside them is rock. But, they're very, very nice rooms, large beds, desks, armoires, lockable chests. They're quite large rooms. Very ornate piss pots.
Ooh.
Very ornate, yes.
Gold plated.
So Jaspers, are we changing?
Yeah, we're definitely gonna shed the
look
mask.
So good with dark hair, I must say.
Okay, so you're getting out of your disguises. You are now Nightingale and Douglan again. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Douglan kept the wig on. No, I'm just kidding.
I've been really liking this look. All right. You make your way back down to the main area of the Good Night's Rest. Malcolm is there. And you see a somewhat puzzled look on his face. He recognizes Landis and Lafferty, but he's kind of looking at the other two.
Nightingale will walk up to him, go down by his ear and be like, "My dear boy, you don't recognize me?"
Done. And he just turns and leaves.
Sir, please wait. Wait, please. Can I have a moment, please?
Malcolm turns back. Yeah? What's up?
Listen, if those, to remind us about the half orcs, right? Just want to make sure.
Remind you about them?
Well, yeah, if they come back.
Oh yeah. They won't be back. Don't worry. They're not coming up to this part of town.
Okay, all right.
But
Thank you.
if the pretty lady hauls that tight little ass of hers anywhere else, she's gonna get it kicked hard.
All right. Well, that's not the right way to talk about a lady, but okay. Thank you. Off you go.
How should you talk about a lady? Uh, sorry. I guess. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, you guys got dinner to get to.
That we do.
Lead the way.
All right, Malcolm escorts you guys back down to the Storm's End. You go inside, and there's a big table towards the back that Darum has arranged. Diza is there. She's sitting with Darum, and there is a spot for each of you at the table.
So
As
before
you can imagine, there is already plenty of bottles of wine opened and poured across glasses on the table.
Landis would leave mud by his door. And by leave mud, he's on the inside, but wherever he'd laid down, Landis will push him closer to the door. Mud doesn't get up, move around much, but once he's in a spot, he keeps a good eye out.
All right.
And just so you know, Lafferty and Douglan, Landis has a charisma of 9. He has as bright and outstanding of a personality as a wallflower. He's one of those types of guys. Like in a room, he disappears because he won't interject. He won't, if you ask him questions, he'll talk, but otherwise he's one of these gray men, so to speak. He just blends in because he doesn't really stand out in the way he is.
Weren't we trying to get rid of Thanon?
No,
Hot.
not exactly
Okay.
the same.
It's all good.
All right. As you guys come into the room, Darum stands and he kind of, he waves you over as if you didn't see where he is. And you come over and you sit down at the table. Diza's looking kind of sheepish compared to the Diza that you've known up to this point. She seems uncomfortable with the situation and hasn't said anything as you arrived.
As they're walking up, Nightingale will look at Douglan.
Perhaps you should do the talking to explain the situation, my good man. You're a big strapping dude. It might take it better from you.
All right.
So as you come up to the table, you can see Darum has a bit of a puzzled look on his face. Diza looks, and she kind of is like, she doesn't
Darum.
say anything either, but you can see she's hiding a smirk on her face.
Darum, it's us. You'll have to forgive our subterfuge, but we needed to leave Evandor without being ourselves, if you know what I mean. But rest assured, we're the muscle you need, and we're here. We'll get you to Cold Spell. God damn it! What the hell's it?
Cold Horn.
Cold Horn. So many names.
Hey, you should keep track of all of this on my end.
Yeah, I know. We'll get you there. Let me introduce myself. I'm Douglan McKean.
Douglan, it's good to meet you, I guess, again. Durham seems more amused than worried by what he's seeing.
Nightingale
And then,
walk over to Durham and be like,
now is it just for is Nightingale?
Or Corey.
Yes.
Or are you
Fairbanks.
Corey? You're Nightingale?
he is Nightingale right now.
Okay. You are of interest to me. Are you a jester then?
Nightingale will bow.
Nightingale at your service.
Nightingale. My, that is an interesting name. Well, gentlemen, I do have a confession to make. Deeza and I did have a conversation about the two of you, and, well, let's just say your ruse was obvious to us that live here in Vargas. We see those that are trying to be others all of the time. I had my suspicions. Diva had her understanding, but it doesn't matter. Vargas is a city that does not ask questions, nor will I. You still look like four very capable people, and I just need capable people to get me where I need to go. We still have an agreement then?
Indeed.
Master Dwarf.
Then sit your bums down and let's enjoy a meal, then, shall we?
Nightingale will sit down, and is there like a waitress? Or
Yep, several of them moving around the place.
he'll flag one down real quick and be like,
Yes, what can I get for you?
Is it all right if I smoke in this room?
Of course, you'd be silly if you didn't.
you know,
Thank you. Douglan? Landis? Lafferty?
Yeah, I would love to see what are you smoking there? That looks like a very interesting herb. Is it a mixture of more than one? Shut up, Lafferty. We got to get to business here. All right.
Tell you about it later, Lafferty.
Please. So,
and Nightingale will fire up a cigar.
Durham.
I would assume of the fine tobacco you acquired at the...
Easterly's finest.
Perhaps
Excellent.
you should offer some.
Business
Don't-
first.
Yes. Durham, am I to understand that you and Disa knew each other? Or did you just meet on the street?
I just met the girl. But, well, I guess proper introductions might get us through the rest of this conversation. So you are Sir, not Jasper. And probably not a eunuch.
I don't really want to prove that, but just take my word for it. No.
I'll take your word for it indeed. What is your name, sir, then?
Douglan. You may call me Douglan.
Douglan. And you're Nightingale. I apologize, Douglan, that I missed your name earlier.
It's all right.
I think with our reintroduction, then, we should have a good drink. Don't you think so, gentlemen?
You got some more of that dwarven brandy? I know that Nightingale here loved
He
it.
kind of waves. Molly dear, bring us each one of your special drinks, my favorite, then. Malcolm comes in and kind of comes up to Nightingale and he says, boss. Don't know what your fracking name is now.
Boss will work.
Okay, boss, how much more do you need from me tonight? I got a couple of things to look after for some other clients. I'll stay as long as you need me. Don't get me wrong. 3 silver pieces is a handsome paycheck. Just checking in.
You can be done tonight, my good man.
Excellent. When do you need me back?
Check in with me in the morning.
Morning's a pretty broad thing there, boss.
Breakfast.
Breakfast. At here.
We'll be having breakfast
there.
at the Good Nights.
I'll be there. See you then.
Good.
Bye for now.
later.
You look much better. He points at Douglan. Much better. That costume is shit. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying. Gotta go.
Oh, you have no idea, lad. It was riding in places. Oh,
So Malcolm makes his way out. He's gone. Molly, who Durham called upon, she's got a glass for everyone, and it's flaming. And she lays him down in the middle of the table. Durham reaches over, he grabs the glass. He pops his hand over it to stop the flame and shoots it back. Come on, everyone! Grab yours! Have a drink!
Douglan follows suit. Lafferty analyzes the fuck out of it before he does it. Like
most of it's burned away before he even gets
he's
to
like
it.
mumbling to himself how the combustion of the flame is taking away the alcohol, and if the longer he goes, the less alcohol will be there, and then he pops it.
Nightingale will smother it and just take a sip.
It's good. It's good. Whatever it is, it's good.
And Landis will drink it as well. He'll not worry too much about it. I've had stranger things.
Durham. Now, gentlemen, have you had a chance to secure your ticket on the Dragonfly?
Not as yet.
The Dragonfly leaves in the morning. It is important that you get up there tonight. Do you know where you're going?
No.
Not a clue.
Excellent. And you just said goodbye to your boy there. I should be able to give you good enough directions to find your way.
Do you want us to go take care of that now, or do we have more to discuss?
Solana is there all night. Don't push your luck. But if you get up there at a reasonable time this evening, I'm sure she'll look after you.
From my experience, that boys who accept coins will accept coins from anyone, and I'd rather not let them know everywhere I've been.
Sounds fair.
But we'll get up there tonight. You can mark our words.
Excellent. So we have our agreement.
Yes.
We will leave on the Dragonfly tomorrow morning. You will ensure that I get to the Dragonfly and from the Dragonfly to my client. Is our deal understood?
And your client is in Coldhorn?
Coldhorn, yes.
It shouldn't be too difficult.
It shouldn't be. As I said, I'm looking for strength in numbers. I'm hoping the appearance of all of us will keep those that I'm not interested in speaking to away. Do we have an understanding?
There has been a slight change of plans, my good man. If you're looking for the appearance of numbers, then it shouldn't be a bit of a... Well, it should actually be a bit advantageous that we invite Dizard along.
I would agree. She's a brawny-looking girl when she wants to be. He kind of winks at Diza, and she's, again, being way kind of quiet and sheepish compared to the Diza you knew on the ship.
Durham, you bring up a good point. Boss, you care to come clean? I don't know many card players that are as fit as you. I know someone who can handle themselves when I see them.
Well, Douglan, we're all not quite what we appear to be. And in my line of work, I have acquired an enemy or two. And to be able to protect oneself is important. And I feel that I can protect myself when necessary.
I have no doubt of that. And yes, we all must do what we must do to stay alive. I'll not begrudge you that.
Nor will I begrudge you your
Attempt.
ruse. Your ruse.
We did our best. I have no game for that.
Clearly,
You-
Douglan.
As I mentioned to, and she turns, Nightingale, you are in a town of people who identify such ruses like someone would identify a pimple on their nose. It is very obvious. You have to be very good to pass such a disguise against those who make a living at it. We will speak no more of it. It is a pleasure for me to meet Nightingale and Douglan, those that helped me in my time of need. I will do what I can for you in exchange for what you can do for me. Do we have an agreement then?
Deeza will save your ass by taking you to Coldhorn.
That would seem at this point the most prudent path forward. Thank you.
I'd say it's our pleasure, but the trip hasn't even begun yet.
Indeed. It may or may not be either one of our pleasures. So,
What?
Darum, having ordered more drinks when everyone else was chatting, because that's what he does best, has ordered a round of some sort of alcohol, and he lifts up the glass to everyone and says, well then, gentlemen and lady, to the safest, fastest of trips. Cheers to all of you. And
Cheers.
he pounds it back. It's actually good for those that taste it. And we will call it a night there, gentlemen.
Gotta write some
Fantastic as
notes.
always. How are the notes doing? So, excellent job at introducing our new characters. And we will pick up from here in 2 weeks. We'll be in our next session on, I think that's March 12th. So,
Oh my god!
thanks, everyone, and we'll sign off from the feed for the night.